Welcome back. Episode, I'm going to say 82 and revisit it. It's been a minute. Yeah, I literally...
You didn't before? Oh my goodness.
We never left. Well, I never left.
It was like, I want to say 82. I don't know. And then you just reach for the phone and go for it. I'm like, oh, just not even giving up. Just like, no, we need this information.
It is episode 81, actually. Last one was episode 80 where we did the Snyder Cut Healed Me. Wow, it's been that long?
88, you should pick an episode, and 89, I should pick one.
I can rock with that. Wow, that'll be before summer's over. This time we're talking about The Lion King re-review by the creator, Confused Mathew. Never heard of him. This is from 7 years ago.
Yeah, he seems to be an old dude, because the original review, it was upload dates are in the 2008.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then there's a re-review that's on an archive. No, it's not on the archive channel. It's on its actual channel. But yeah. So yeah, it's
wow, 7 years ago was 2015. I'm thinking it was like 2008, 2009.
My dumb mind always goes 1990 was 20 years ago. No matter when. It's always 20 years ago. I'm like, no, it's not. It is factually not. But it just feels like that.
Yeah. So, in anticipation of this revisited, I rewatched The Lion King last night.
And I rewatched it about an hour and a half ago.
I am very interested to see what his problems are with it. Because The Lion King is in it.
It gets thrown around too much, but that is a classic.
Dude.
As soon as the opening hit with the eyes and the sun, I just started smiling. I was like, it did open like this. And it's just...
It makes me hate the remake even more. Because I hadn't seen the original in so long.
I should have rewatched the remake after that just to get that down. But then I probably would have got confused with they said this here and there. Oh yeah, that I remember just sitting in the theater, just like, alone in the theater. let's make that perfectly clear. Just like, oh no. But yeah, it's also just really, really funny as well.
It's Timon and Pumbaa are in killing it. It's a funny movie. It's heartfelt. The drama beats hit.
Yeah.
I am super interested to see what the problems are that he derives from this.
Because I'm like, this is a very good movie. I don't. This is like 100 years from now. This is going right in there. Because something like people go Rosebud, Citizen Kane. Mm-hmm. People go Citizen Kane is a marvel in filmmaking.
Yeah.
But you don't really hear people talking about like the story or anything.
Like the technical aspects of it.
It's more just, it did something for film itself. The lighting, the shots and stuff like that. This is just an easy, good story, in, out. It's a classic. It's a really good movie. I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I'm so... Because, like you said, something like 10, 15 minutes, get in, hey, here's some problems. Because, a full-grown lion, they eat like 80 pounds of meat a week. And
yeah,
that's
he's eating lot bugs.
So, but, you rattle off those statistics and everything, you complain about everything surrounding that. That's, 2-3 minutes?
I mean, if you want to go the realism route, you could go, it's not realistic. The talking animals, of course. Mm-hmm. But let's just say... it's not realistic. Simba would grow to this strength. He'd look more like Scar. Why isn't Scar putting on weight if they're just eating everything and about stuff like that?
The part at the end where it's Pride Rock is on fire and then a rain comes and Simba roars and then Pride Rock is just, hey, why have they run out of water? I can understand the greenery because they left and no pooping, no fertilization, no animals dying. I can understand that greenery, but the water's gone.
And the water and the greenery comes back in 8 years.
How do you convince the wildebeest hey, no, it's cool now? Stuff like that. It's like, okay, I can see a 15-minute review of just going bam, bam, bam,
the
bam.
logic of Lion King or some stuff like that.
But if you're talking about just story beats, characters, songs, motivations.
I mean, at best you could say it's simplistic.
Yeah, that's about it. People go back to the Hamlet ripoff, things like that.
I mean, but who cares about ripoffs and things that draw from other pieces of media? Cause if the media's good and what you've created is good, like I don't care.
It's not necessarily a criticism that it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't care if like some new movie ripped off like The Thing, as long as it's good.
Yeah,
like who cares? So
that's why I'm just like, oof.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's get into the description so we can get into the video.
So it is Confused Mathew takes a look at the Lion King, one of the first. Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, I would very much like to get at this. I remember when we were previewing this, there's a whole lot of rambling in the beginning about this review is because of this, and I couldn't do this before, so that's going to be a bit boring. But
what are you gonna do?
Hopefully, he gets into it soon and hard and fast, and
ladies,
make some good points.
Men. Non-binaries, whoever likes to take it. All right, let's get into it.
This is gonna get us hit out this world.
I mean, it is what
it is. What it is.
I mean, if they're not hit, why do we get hit when these other?
I don't know. I do not know.
When we even elongate what they, I don't understand it.
Mathew will now share his thoughts on The Lion King.
Is this a little loud for you?
Yeah, it's a little loud.
Okay.
I don't know why I tried to turn it down myself. I guess I'm just used to that motion.
Again.
That's a very good Mufasa.
Okay. This is going on way too long.
Come on now. We got to go.
Gonna do another.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No is the answer. No.
Why do these?
You don't need this. What does this do? What does this do for the video?
Comedy. It's the comedy.
This isn't even the scene. This isn't.
Yeah, this is. I can't wait to be king. You're right. This would be like playing White Christmas during a Thanksgiving movie. Like it's not the holiday.
So let's just take a look at this. I'm gonna be a mighty king. 8 syllables. I'm gonna do another review. 8 syllables.
There you go.
But it sounds clunky.
The structure, yeah.
Gonna do another review.
Yep, right there. That's where it was.
Yep, there it is.
Gonna do another review.
Because the first one apparently wasn't controversial enough.
Yeah, he just gave up.
That's all you need. No, that's all you need. And then we got the joke at this point. So just move on.
How much of the stroke does he get to the hook?
No, he can't.
And also I had to cut some things from the first one because of YouTube's 10-minute time limit at the time. So now I'll put it...
You don't necessarily have to cut it down because the first video was 3 parts. So you can do whatever you want.
Why would you do this song if you're not even going to try with the song?
What's the point?
What's the point? Why not just go, hey, I'm doing this because of this? Or write the song better.
If you're gonna do it,
do it. And if you feel like you can't do it or aren't gonna do a good enough job with it or can't do a good enough job with it, don't do it.
Don't just make the joke that it's bad.
And do the review I first wrote in its completion, and maybe revisit some points I made and see if they still hold up. I think a lot of them do. So now, without any further ado,
oh, okay, not gonna get to the hook.
Another Lion King review.
Not gonna get to the hook, he says.
I am clearly an idiot. And we see in the Discord, stocks go up, stocks instantly go down.
Dude, I don't know what's up with your stock.
It happens.
The market opens. Oh, DA.
Oh, what? Where's my house? What?
Oh, you can turn it off now. I'm not doing this anymore. I said I was going to sing the intro song, and I did, and it was fucking terrible, and I'm not singing.
Who said that you were going to... When did you say you were going to sing the intro song?
Who said...
Who is this person that wants more?
This if you turn it off. Just turn it off. Man, I can't believe it's been almost 7 years since I did that review. God, it seems like only yesterday I said, hey, this YouTube thing seems pretty fun, and hey, I got a wildly different opinion about a movie that everybody likes. I'll do a full review of that. There we go, that was fun, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining to the 5 people who actually watch this thing. Oh. This was one of the first reviews that I ever did, at a time where I didn't even know what Confused Mathew was going to be, or how I was going to do this going forward. And as I look back on the review now, there were a few head-scratching moments in there because of that. Like when I referenced Star Trek Generations and Star Trek First Contact, which really doesn't have much relevance today.
The relevance to the date doesn't really matter so long as the
relevance to the story or whatever you're trying to put an allegory or
if the comparison is apt or anything. It doesn't really matter if you want to go, hey, you remember The Thing or The Fly.
I mean, we literally just said Hamlet, and that's from whenever it's from. I don't history.
Whenever it's from sometime, the 1960s or whatever.
Time I had planned on doing a thing where I would mention films that I was going to review next or that I had reviewed in the past in every video, but it didn't catch on, and so that's whatever, screw it. But the majority of the review is something that I'm still
gimmick. I don't know why you thought that was gonna work, because then you have to try to force The Lion King into your next review, and say it's like Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah.
You gotta try to force Lion King into Jeepers Creepers, and especially if somebody's just going down the road, because sometimes you discover a new person and then you start watching their stuff,
and then go down to the bottom,
or just pick and choose stuff that you're interested in.
Hey, I like Lion King. What do they have to say about it?
Yeah, something like Todd in the Shadows, like, oh, yo, I know that song. I would like to hear him talk about that. And then once you get through all the stuff that you know, then it's like, okay, now I'll just listen to stuff that I don't know exactly what they're talking about because I like this person.
Yeah, I had no clue what the 7 years by Lucas Graham was, but it's one of my favorite reviews by him. So,
pleased with today. I made every case I wanted to make. I'm pretty sure people liked the review. Wait, not like the other thing. And it's one of the few reviews I've done since that I'm completely satisfied with. So you're probably asking yourself by now, if you're so satisfied, why are you doing this again? Well, there are 2 reasons. First, while I covered all the major things that I wanted to address about the film, there was so much more I had to say, but at the time I was limited by a mere 10 minutes and I couldn't use any video footage.
But you had part 1, and so
part
that means
one,
you
part
had
2,
more.
and part 3.
So you had the time, despite the time limits. You could do as long as you could possibly want.
Even if it's just like, part 1 is just the characters, part 2 is the story, part 3 is the theme.
Mm-hmm.
You can still just go, okay, in the next video, I got 17 minutes worth of character stuff. This one's going to be 10 minutes. The next one's going to be 7 minutes, or cut it evenly, however you have to. But it's not an excuse of I didn't have the time. You always have the time.
Severely limited.
You couldn't use video footage. That's fine.
Could you not?
I think that it would be. That's just annoying.
The little light.
No, not the little light. The mouse cursor was just on the screen. It's just annoying me. But yeah,
I just wanted to make sure
2008.
Yeah, I don't know if you.
I'm pretty sure Nostalgia Critic was rocking,
but he was on
time.
Blip. No, I think he hadn't moved to Blip yet.
Yeah, let me see.
I mean, we were making AMVs.
Yeah, I don't think YouTube was that harsh back then.
Yeah, I don't think. I think a lot of the Viacom stuff was getting hit, but then you got Red Letter Media doing that giant Star Wars boy with Mr. Plinkett, and it was almost exclusively video clips. And I think that was 2010 or 11.
Nostalgia Critic, YouTube, 2007. So yeah, you could use video footage.
Maybe he just didn't have the capacity to use it.
Maybe he physically couldn't, his computer.
Yeah, something like that.
Couldn't use any video footage, which severely limited how I could express my ideas. So it seems like a fun idea to include all those other things I wanted to say and how I wanted to say them. Secondly, I would wager that my original Lion King review has generated the most feedback and response of any review I have done before or since. And many people seem to want to know if any of that has changed my view on the film after so many years. So those are...
I mean, would it? feedback. I
I'd
understand
say so.
if you're listening to feedback, it could change your views and stuff.
Either positively or negatively.
Yeah. But would people really be asking that? Or would you care 7 years later? Just going, hey, do you still feel that way about Lion King?
I think it's a conversation to be had. Absolutely. Like if someone is vehemently against something, let's just say you with Madoka, and then
Yeah, not Madoka. I don't feel strongly about that. Clanad.
yeah, Clanad. Let's just say Clanad, and then you made a video reviewing Clanad, and then you got a bunch of feedback that helped inform you of things you didn't like or missed or whatever.
Yeah, things like I missed or you didn't understand this part. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So and then it's just like after all that feedback, it's, hey, do you still feel the same? I could see the conversation there.
Reasons that I would like to do this again. A third, I suppose, is that after going back and watching it again, I realized that while I stand by everything I said in the review, there were some things that I could have articulated just a bit better, and the fact that I can now use video footage is going to be a big help, let me tell you. So this particular review will feature about half new content and critiques, and half revisiting of some of the older ones. So strap yourselves in.
That's not the reason to use Two-Face. I thought he was going to say it's going to be half praising and half not, like, critiquing it.
No, just half. Half is the point. It's fine. I don't think you understand the duality of Two-Face and the point to use him.
And as we jump down this rabbit hole once again. Now, the last time I did this, I started out pretty negative, but this time, I'd like to start things a little different, with the actual good things that I have to say about the film. And yes, there are
Animation, music, those are two easy things to praise.
Even as me, a guy that does not give a about animation, I was like, wow, this is really pretty.
Yeah, that's a lot of little subtle things with characters' faces that really got
We can't have that in the remake.
Oh, it's so horrible.
Yeah, I might watch the remake like right after
Oh
this.
my, their dumb lion faces just staring like, yeah, this is the meaning that we mean to convey. Oh my, it's a horrible idea.
The truth is that most of the films I have reviewed as Confused Mathew are films that I sincerely no longer watch. They're just bad and I have no desire to ever see them again. The Lion King, on the other hand, is one that I watch. I still don't think it's a good movie, but it has a lot of other qualities that are genuinely good. The animation is still the best I have ever seen of the hand-drawn style. The voice acting is good, although it leans just a little too heavily on star power. I mean, come on, guys. Give some professional voice actors a chance to act in a film for once.
Who are they talking about?
James Earl Jones,
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Thing kills it.
He's so good. He's really good in this. I just love the little switches that he does. Like when he was talking to Simba, where you're just like, you deliberately disobey him. And then it just goes from that stern voice to like calm, and then they go right into playful. I'm like, he's really good. He's not so good in the new one.
Oh yeah, no.
He's lost a step. But
I don't know if he lost a step or he was just directed poorly.
that could be also it. But you know, he's in his 90s, so
Yeah,
you can
that's
only
fair.
do so much at that age.
I don't know, because Forensic Files dude was still killing it.
But
Peter Thomas.
He has this horrible leathery voice that it's just like he's so good. I want to watch Forensic Files.
Oh, dude, I can't watch new Forensic Files because it's his Peter Thomas is not there, and I'm not.
like that's not. I'm trying to be low
But
into
thanks
this.
to
And you're not doing
forensic
that.
evidence, it's just like that's just the voice I associate with the looking through blood. They burned and bleached the ashes. Oh, really, Peter Thomas? Please keep speaking to me, sir.
But there was also well-known voice actors in this. Jim Cummings, I believe, was Ed, and he also took over for Scar when he blew out his voice in the Be Prepared. I'm pretty sure it was Jim Cummings. Don't correct me in the comments because I'm not gonna look it up. But yeah, you know, star power, whatever. It's
I feel like there are quite a few movies that are just like, yo, star power, and
like the pets thing.
Yeah.
The crypto, the dog thing, where it's just like The Rock, crypto.
as crypto.
But this, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Matthew Broderick as older Simba. It's the fact that they do a good job.
Yeah, that's what matters more to me. I understand the getting a name for, because I have railed against a lot of movies for just going Will Smith as the fish, and it's just like, a kid don't care.
Yeah.
Get somebody that's gonna be expressive and funny. But as long as you are doing your role well, like Eddie Murphy as either Donkey or Mushu. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, it's Eddie Murphy. Why can't you get a voice actor? I'm like, that's a fantastic role for him.
Man, fantastic job.
It's what they do. And the soundtrack is just incredible. Just incredible.
I called 2 of the 3.
Seriously, I've been rocking this soundtrack for the last 2 decades. As I get older, I don't even listen to Metallica anymore, but I still listen to this. And let me tell you, the opening sequence to this film, like everything leading up to the title, it's really just one of the best things Disney has ever done. It's just incredible. Still blows my mind. So while I can certainly say that I don't like this movie very much, I can't exactly admit to liking...
about story, character, or plot. So you have all sorts of problems with that up and down and stuff. It's just all this superfluous stuff that's not really about the characters or anything.
Nothing about this one. And I have to admit that I don't hate watching this. There is so much artistry to the work that I am happy to sit down and spend a little bit of time with it every once in a while. But the biggest compliment that I wish to pay this film beforehand is this. Had I been around when the film was being produced, I would have taken one look at the screenplay and said, you guys are going to embarrass yourself. No one is going to be interested in this. They're all going to fall asleep. You're on the fast track to a flop, and I don't want anything to do with this movie. And you know who would have agreed with me? Walt Disney Studios. That's right, the creators of The Lion King did not have the full support of the studio at the time. All the suits at Disney thought the film was too
all over in Pocahontas, and that's where their things were going to, and not to The Lion King, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, we know. Get into the review!
Different and too difficult to market to get people into the seats. They thought of this as being on the B list, and they didn't fully back the project at all. There was advertising to be sure, but they didn't give them the big media blitz that all their other films received. Disney basically said to them, this is never going to gross $1. Make it if you want to, but we're not going to spend that much time promoting it. We're focusing all of our attention and resources on Pocahontas. That's going to be our major hit. That is so funny to think about now. It's just like, oh, VHS? No. Betamax. That's where the future is. Ask your parents, kids. So this means that The Lion King's success, and it did turn out to be Disney's biggest success of the Renaissance era, is due to people simply seeing the film and recognizing it as a genuinely good film, without any hype
and enjoyable. You don't go, I will never see a movie I thought was good, but I didn't enjoy more than once.
Yeah. There's no real reason to, especially during the times where it's not like you can... No YouTube. There's no written reviews.
No
or anything.
streaming.
Nah, unless you got a column or a review at your school or something. There's no real reason to see something that you don't like more than once.
Or expectations at all. That's amazing. I think that's the way it should be with all films, especially in this day and age. So I'm sincerely happy for them. They proved Disney wrong. Hell, they proved me wrong, and that is a genuine accomplishment that all the Confused Mathew reviews in the world cannot take away. But
they proved you wrong by having a lot of people go see it.
They proved a hypothetical you that would poo-poo the script wrong. Whatever. I'd like the review now, please.
Mathew reviews in the world cannot take away. But sadly, no matter how many good things I have to say about the aesthetic aspects of the film, I still don't think it's a good movie. I found this one to have so many story, theme, and character problems that I just didn't like it as a kid, and I still don't like it to this day.
As a kid, you were like, there's so many theme problems.
The themes, y'all, the themes. You sitting in the movie theater like, hey, the themes.
That's not tying it to the theme of... Oh, dude.
The same reasons. So now let's take another in-depth look at why I didn't like this one. Now, the last time I did this, I started with Simba waking his dad up in the nicest way possible. However, the film actually begins before that, and one of the biggest problems I originally had with the movie was also, sadly, something that I had to cut out of the first review. Namely, Scar. I touched a little bit on how everyone in the kingdom would have to be dirt stupid to believe anything that Scar was selling them, but there is just so much more wrong with how this was presented. Scar is the reason every other character in the film just comes off as stupid to me.
He just keeps making claims. Everybody would have to be stupid. Everybody is stupid because of Scar. Okay.
Scar is the brother of Mufasa.
He is next in line to become the king.
And he has, as far as they know, never done a thing wrong. He's just kind of sleazy.
Once the stampede happens, we see that Scar comes up to Mufasa and Zazu and says, Simba's down there. So Zazu could be like, hey, the man tried to help.
When they're, who's giving the big speech after Mufasa's death? It's Scar, and they're not like, what's Scar talking? Why is he's awful? It's just like, dang, this is a sad thing moment.
The king and the son are dead. Again, like you said, he's never shown any sort of malicious intent to any of the lions that we see. So he's just sort of sleazy.
He's the black sheep of the family, but that doesn't make it so you don't just
it had to be him. A stampede. He had to have orchestrated it and killed Mufasa and Simba. Obviously. No. And can I just say, Scar is so amazing.
Yeah, Scar is fantastic.
Holy crap.
They did up in the remake, dude.
This man,
he's so flamboyant and just like
peeking up in the air, just like, oh, I wouldn't dream of it. Oh, he's so good. He is a slimy sack of crap that's just oozing it in every scene, and I love it to death. I just want a full movie of him just condescending down to Simba and Mufasa. Is that a challenge? Oh no, I wouldn't dream of facing you. I mean, I got the brains, but you were blessed with the
brains. When it came to brains, I got the lion's share.
It's so good.
The opening of the film. This is one of the only interactions between Mufasa and Scar, and I mean, just listen to this.
Don't turn your back on me, Scar.
Oh no, Mufasa. Perhaps you shouldn't turn your back on me.
Is that a challenge?
No, Mufasa, that was not a challenge. A challenge is something like this here.
Whoosh. Answer me, weakling. Experience this.
What Scar did...
Is he being pedantic about the word challenge?
I was waiting for this right here.
Okay.
There is what is known as a threat.
No,
and
he's not. That's not a threat. He said, don't turn your back on me. You turned your back on me. I was supposed to be next in line to become a king, but you birthed the kid that took my spot. His first thing outside the gate was a mouse. It's just like, hey, little mouse, things don't always go as planned. I was supposed to be king, and you were supposed to live, but neither of them gonna happen today. So he's going, I was supposed to be king.
Which is actually a very witty thing, because the mouse lives, and then he becomes king.
Look at that. But yeah, this was not a challenge. He's just going, you betrayed me by taking away my birthright. This was not a threat. How is this a threat? He's not going, don't turn your back on me or I'm going to knife you in the back. No, he's going...
There's definitely threatening undertones, but it's not an outright threat. Just like it's not an outright challenge, but you're mad about it not being an outright challenge.
Considering that you were standing there for his entire speech of dissent and backstabbing, it might behoove you...
What dissenting speech of backstabbing?
presenting speech or backstabbing. You show one line. And...
Oh, was that today?
Oh, he's a slime. Oh, let me look up
The actual,
transcript.
the entire script. Yeah, I don't understand the issue in Mufasa questioning if it's a challenge or not. Like, when I was watching, I did not think about it at in awe.
Was that today? I feel simply awful. Must have slipped my mind. Zazu talks. I'm not going to talk about the Zazu stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I was first in line until the little hairball was born. That hairball was my son. Oh. They're all so good. And your future king. Oh, I shall practice my curtsy. He's a little sack of crap. Don't turn your back on me, Scar. Oh no, perhaps you shouldn't turn your back on me. What? He's just lying.
What part of that was backstabbing? It wasn't like he was like, "Oh, Mufasa, one day you gonna get it.
You gonna get it."
You to take appropriate precautions after this.
I was first in line until the little hairball was born.
You keep him very far away from my son. You hear me? Keep him far away.
You see, unlike most Disney
That's
villains,
not a threat. That's just calling him a name.
He's upset about it.
And you see, when Mufasa leans down, he goes, that hair, there is no anger, it's exasperation mostly. This is within Scar's character to just call people names like that.
Scar isn't even trying to hide this. I mean, he's not even trying to mince his words of
what? I'm gonna kill you and your son?
That's not what he said at all. That's not what he even implied.
all the Disney villains of the
He
Renaissance
spit
era.
out Zazu when he didn't have to. He could have eaten him just like he was already dead. I didn't know that was yours. I saw a bird and I ate it.
Scar is the most direct and obvious about his intentions, and yet everyone around
Direct and
Holy
obvious
crap!
by going, don't turn your back on me, and I was supposed to be king until that hairball was born? Are you serious?
That's just a lie. And look at how smarmy he is. There is no, he said, I wouldn't dream of challenging you. How is that? That's direct. I'm not going to challenge you is a direct challenge.
completely oblivious to this. And please don't get me.
It's not oblivious because he got in his face and went, is that a challenge? They didn't take the undertones serious, I guess you could say. But beyond that,
because what evidence do we have at this point that Scar has done anything wrong to Mufasa? Really none, other than
or
trying to eat
even
his
Simba,
bird.
because even when Simba gets older, he's just like, hey, Uncle Scar, what's up, though?
So he's at least friendly enough to come over to his place, because if you see the beginning where Simba comes in, it's all the lionesses sleeping, including Mufasa. Scar's not there, so Scar lives on the outskirts, so Simba must go there. Simba must be knowledgeable enough to go there. Scar must be friendly enough, so Simba's like, hey, Uncle, I'm gonna be king, blah, blah, blah.
Mufasa must be okay with it, because he's not like, yo, don't go
Hey,
over
he
there. Says, don't go over there, but you can go see Scar, I don't care.
But he's just going, ignorance is the issue when it's not, because again, what malicious things is Scar doing? You could say that it's undertones, but it's really not. You show one line, two lines, and just going, that makes my point. That proves my point. No, it doesn't. It proves your point because you know the story. You know that he's evil. If you had said something like that, it's like, oh, that little piece of, your kid was born and took my inheritance, that little piece of stuff, like, hey, calm that down. I wouldn't be
What's
like,
your problem,
I
bruh?
wouldn't be like, oh, he's gonna behead my little baby. No, I wouldn't be like that. Like,
He's gonna kill me and my son. Like, what are we?
Me wrong. I understand that this is a children's film, and I understand that sometimes you just have to go with this stuff. If you look at it from too much of a technical standpoint, every animated character in every animated film on Earth probably could have proceeded with more logic and common sense than they actually did. But even then, the writers...
I don't like that. I don't like that totality.
I also don't like the clip he used for Star Trek Because I don't see how that was a challenge.
Maybe some Star Trek thing that's lost in translation for
But-
us.
He's losing the translation because he knows what's coming up.
At least try to give a few good reasons why people aren't catching on to something or why they're kept in the dark. I mean, even Jafar was trying to use subterfuge and acting like he's on the Sultan's side.
Like Scar?
Like Scar?
What are you talking about?
He acted like Simba was on his side where he just goes, an elephant graveyard isn't gonna be, oh no, that's gonna be our little secret. He acted like Simba was on his side.
I've said too much.
He went over to Mufasa to go, Simba's down there acting like he's on Mufasa's side.
That's why when Mufasa is falling, he goes, brother, help. Not like, oh no, Scar, you planted.
Crap is Scar, of all people.
Even when Simba came back, he wasn't like, yo, Scar, what's up?
What's up?
It was just like, no, I did it. I'm sorry. Until Scar literally said, oh no, I killed that bastard.
Oh my goodness.
When his mom, Sarabi came up, it was just like, Scar, we have to leave Pride Rock. It's over. And then Scar goes, no, and then she goes, then you've doomed us all.
So good.
Even they were still just like, Scar, you're the king. We just gotta
King's
follow.
rule.
They established that the Sultan was under a spell, that he wasn't really the sharpest pencil in the box to begin with, and, might I add, even after all that, Aladdin still figured out what he was obviously doing. These people have no excuse. Scar is saying that he feels jilted by Simba's birth. He's saying that he feels bitter about not being able to be king.
Yes, he's bitter about it. What part of that is like, well, okay, so I'm plotting to kill you.
If we both go for a job and you get it, it's not instantly murder time. It's just, oh, he's a bit jealous. He's still allowed to be here. He's still allowed to eat. He's still allowed to do all the things that he's been allowed to do. He just won't be king.
It's like if you owned a company and brought me in as vice president of the company, and then you had a kid, and then 18 years later, you made them the president when you stepped down instead of me. I'm not going to be like, it's time to kill my brother and his son. I would be like, yo, that's Bush.
But that'd be about it.
I'd be mad about it. We might have a falling out about it. But this isn't even like, yo, you appointed somebody. It's just tradition that you were born, so you gonna be king someday.
What was I supposed to do? Now, this would be different if they had talked in this conversation like, how did you get that scar? You last time you challenged me, this is what happened. They'd be like, okay, so he has a pre-existing example of him challenging for the title and it going poorly. We have that. But we don't have that.
The ambition to be king no matter what.
But we don't have that.
Mufasa shouldn't turn his back on him. I mean, he's saying these things to the characters.
Yes, they're having a fight. Don't turn your back on me, Scar, said angrily. Oh no, perhaps you shouldn't turn your back on me, said snidely. Is that a challenge? Said angrily. I wouldn't dream of it, said sarcastically.
And he's allowed to walk away. And once he's walking away, they're joking about him being a throw rug. So this is, if they're joking about it in that aspect, it's like this is a common enough thing. Even before he became, he got a son and was usurped for his throne, his position.
Uncle Scar, when I'm king...
Look at him! Look at him! He is so done with this piece of...
Characters.
Uncle Scar, when I'm king, what'll that make you?
A monkey's uncle.
Oh, Scar. The way you say those things. And yet, with all of this...
All of this? Don't
What
turn
was
your
that?
back on me and I'm mad
Something?
because the kid is the king? Dude.
That was a horrible example.
deliberate obviousness, everyone else goes about their business like they have no idea that he could possibly be up to something nefarious.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Good
What
points.
what would be the reason? Because this is a year later, 2 years after Simba's born, and nothing's happened. Why would they think, oh, Scar's still plotting to take over the throne?
Nothing has happened up until this moment. We have no evidence of anything happening before the beginning of the movie. And you're just going, well, he's clearly evil because he's a little snidey piece of
When Scar does take over, it never occurs to anyone that there could be something fishy about it, and when it's revealed that he...
Why would there be?
Would there be? There was a stampede of wildebeests. I was here getting Mufasa.
Zazu saw it.
Did I start the stampede?
Well, where's your evidence of that?
No evidence that he told Simba to wait there? He's actively helping by going, Simba's down there, go help him. And an accident happened. Don't just saying that they should know. When it's a wildly outrageous circumstance, it's not evidence, it's not a point, it's not a criticism.
They act like this is the most surprising thing on Earth.
What evidence do they have that Scar would pull something like this?
Could pull something like this.
He's a piece of absolutely. But what part of that? Are you on the outs with anybody in your family? And do you believe they would murder you given the chance?
Somebody who's a little cunty to you. Would you
A
just
coworker or a friend or something?
Would you instantly just go, oh, I better watch out or they're just gonna kill me?
Seriously, are you all fucking stupid? Not you, the audience, of course. I'm talking about the damn lions. This was the first time in a Disney film where I honestly felt the characters weren't catching on to an evil scheme simply because the screenplay didn't allow them to. It's obvious. I mean, it's
obvious off of one conversation where I'd be king if the little hairball wasn't, and after Mufasa says, don't turn your back on me, Scar retorts, don't turn your back on me. Obviously, he was plotting a murder there.
And he succeeded. What evidence do we have? None.
Is that why when he's with the hyenas, they're like, oh, what are you talking about? What plan? Because this is a newly formulated plan a year or two later?
It's so laughably obvious what Scar probably wants to do.
It's so obvious what Scar probably wants to do. Obviously, you probably want to do this.
That's how words work. That's how things are conveyed. Now go back. Could you go back?
You can say likely.
Right there. You could be like, look at the nails. He's got his nails barred, and Mufasa does not. So he's even right here plotting to kill him. You could say something like that. And Mufasa's not even worried, so he doesn't have his claws bare. That's something to be said.
He's literally near his neck, which is a thing lions do. And Mufasa's just like, meh.
But no. And again, he goes, I'm not going to challenge you. So that alleviates your worries. To the point where he's about to die and he's going, oh, brother, help. Not, come, just do this for me this one time, Scar. Just be
Scar,
cool
you wouldn't let me
time.
die, would you? I know you don't like me.
I know you
you're
had
mad.
our problems.
I know you mad about Simba, but you wouldn't just let me die, would you? Believed in him until the very end. When he said, long live the king, his eyes went open in shock.
Close up on his eye. He's like, to the very end. No, and his only argument is going to be, no, because Mufasa's stupid. He should have realized. No.
I guess all the people murdered in real life by spouses or whatever should have just realized what was going to happen.
Yeah, because psychopath and...
all these matricides and patricides. I guess they should have just realized.
obvious what Scar probably wants to do that it just boggles the mind. And yet even more mind-boggling is Scar's actual plan, which is really stupid, but we'll get to that later.
It worked. His hands are clean. Nobody saw him. There's no evidence.
Nothing.
He is king.
Nobody's questioning what happened.
As far as he knows, the two people in line are dead.
So you know the drill. We jump ahead in time. Simba is a little kid, and he wakes his parents up in the nicest, most pleasant way possible. His father then takes him on a tour of the kingdom.
Is he mad that the lion butted heads and bit it? It's like a kid shaking their parent away.
On Christmas Day, Mufasa promised something to him on this day, and he's so excited that he's going, okay, now it's time.
Do you know that lion cubs will bite the butts of their parents, and the parents will yell like it's in pain to give them confidence? They're acting like lions. Dude, oh my God. I don't know if I can.
This is real bad.
Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. As king, you need to understand that balance and respect all the creatures.
But sometimes that just ain't enough to keep a man like me interested. Oh no.
Wait. Is he calling Simba a douchebag because he's a kid that got distracted?
During a morning report that he does not care about. He is just now learning that he's gonna be king, and he's going and Mufasa's talking, not Mufasa, Zazu's talking about a whole bunch of stuff about groundhogs and zebras and stuff like that. He doesn't care. What's the problem? Of course he's gonna get distracted. He's a kid. If it's bring your child to work day and they're coming in and talking about all these business things, you think they're gonna be like, yes, inflation. No.
They're gonna throw some spitballs or be doodling or something. Until the firefighter comes and like, yo, I put out a huge fire. Whoa!
No way. No, I've gotta go out and have fun at someone else's expense. Oh yeah. Yeah.
You mean an arrogant kid being dumb and getting in trouble?
And then learning that is the bad thing to do.
Yeah. And I'm an asshole.
Make your point. Don't just play a song and just like, there you go. Or have that be half the length. We got it.
I cannot believe he's saying Simba is an asshole for being a child. What are we...
When he's constantly reprimanded for his bad decisions and bad actions. Literally the song, I Can't Wait to Be King, is Zazu going, no, that's not how this works at all. No. Yeah, you could just do whatever you want, but it's not whatever you want to do. It's whatever's the best for Pride Rock.
Agree that we know how I feel about Simba by now. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that we all know how I feel about Simba by now.
I didn't see the first video.
I would
unless you're
prefer
talking
that
about...
you explain how you feel instead of just playing the song and just going, that's how I feel.
I mean, the first thing the little shit does in the movie is headbutt his father in the face.
That's how lions wake up other lions.
Did that hurt Mufasa? Or did that slightly annoy him because he's trying to sleep?
Like a kid waking up a parent.
This is nothing. This is not an issue. It's a kid. It's an excited kid promised something, so he's waking up his dad. Wow. Really? This is what it's gonna be for the next hour?
Oh, dude. I heard just a snippet of his be prepared point.
Oh, no.
Oh, you best get ready.
Oh, be prepared, you might say?
No.
Oh. Okay. I thought I was tight edge, but no.
No, we don't.
No, but. I need an occupation. Comedian. Well, no, that's what I'm doing up here. I need another occupation.
still gets on my fucking nerves to this day. And don't tell me this is just a little kid who got overexcited and woke his dad up because of it. That's bullshit. Nemo was a kid who got overexcited and woke his dad up because...
What's the difference?
What is the difference?
He's literally belly flopping on him.
Because of it. And at the end of that scene, Nemo looked like this. Simba was an entitled little shit who demanded to be satisfied, and when his scene was over, he looked like this.
No, Mufasa said, all right, let's go, and he looked super excited.
I mean, look at that face. Look at that face. How can you not hate this face?
This is such poor faith. Dude. Holy crap.
Don't even want to finish that. I can't believe this bush, dude.
Assuming you've all seen the review, and so you know where I go from here.
No, I didn't. Please,
you said it's going to be half the same stuff and half new stuff.
Simba acts like a little brat, lies to everyone, does everything he isn't supposed to do, and basically behaves like a little shit until his father gets killed. Now,
he is a child.
He is constantly reprimanded for these things. He is manipulated by Scar 2 times. Once it's just like, oh, you a big brave boy, you gonna go over there? Don't go over there, little brave boy. And the next time it's just like, oh, Simba, everybody knows about your crushing failure and how you almost died. So maybe work on your roar so it doesn't happen again. He was manipulated.
Am I gonna like the surprise? Oh, it's to
die for.
Now, here's one of the first revisiting parts of the review. As I said, there were a fair amount of objections from fans when I did this the first time, one of them being that my portrayal of Simba was just totally out of context. Simba didn't actually call anyone a dickface, he didn't actually sing "You guys suck and I am great," and all those parts of the review were largely dismissed as hyperbole. So, is this true? Am I just taking the character out of context and portraying him only as I saw him? No, I'm sorry, there is nothing out of context about this. I mean, I can understand why people could have said that when I had to dub all the lines myself and couldn't use any video footage, but now I can. And here is every single scene Simba was in.
You promised. But I thought a king can do whatever he wants.
Pause. Okay. So you're missing when his mom wakes up and he sort of playfully goes around her legs before he goes into this scene with her, with him. You're missing that.
So this is not every scene Simba is in. This is every evidence you have for him being a little in your eyes.
Yes.
And him saying, I thought a king could do whatever he wants.
Because that's his childish mentality of what a king is. Ask a kid what a president could do, and they'd be like, anything. Free ice cream for everybody, right? It doesn't work like that.
What would you do, little Susie, if you were president, 7-year-old Susie? I'd make sure everyone got good jobs, and that's not a president.
Even you ask some adults and people would just be like, why didn't Biden just give us more stimulus checks? Like he's the one holding the pen above it just going, no.
Of course Biden's America. Look at these gas prices.
There's not a system of checks and balances. Even adults don't know what the president does. I don't know what a mayor does. I don't know what the difference between a mayor and a governor is.
Oh, a seat on the Senate? I don't know what you do.
That? Oh, welcome to the Supreme Court. Is that better than the regular court? Yes, it is. I know that. I don't know by what means, though. So, it's not outside of the realm of possibility, especially since this is the first time that he's ever heard about him possibly becoming king, that he's going to be like, oh, I can do whatever I want. No, son, not whatever you want.
Kingdom getting your way all the time.
There's more? Oh, Dad.
There's more than being just getting your way all the time. So it's separated from you get your way, but there is more things and that more thing is responsibility. And he wasn't like, ugh, there's more than what I want. No, he's like, no, there's more.
He's thinking I can get everything I want and more. Mufasa's like, you can do a lot of things as king, but there's a lot of responsibility to come with it. The cogs turned in his little kid mind is just like, wow, everything I want and more.
No. It's everything you want, but more.
There's more? Oh, Dad, can I come?
No, son.
Hey, there's a problem over there with the hyenas. And hyenas are dangerous. Can I come? No, you will be murdered. Him wanting to come with his father to go with his kingly responsibilities, and his father going, no, not yet. Oh, what a little douche.
I never get to go anywhere. My dad just showed me the whole kingdom, and I'm gonna rule it all.
Promise me you'll never
Yes, he's gonna rule it all, and he's excited about it.
And a little douchey about it.
And a little douchey about
He's a
it.
dumb kid that's gonna be a king one day.
They just heard that he's inheriting Google, essentially. Of course you're gonna be like, oh, get out of here. I'm freaking Frank Google.
First off,
Your name don't change when you inherit a company.
and who's out here naming their kids Frank these days? Little Frank over there.
Franklin is a good name, but that always brings up images of the turtle.
Dude. Why would you name anybody Clifford these days?
Yeah, that's a dead name. Get it out of here.
You a big red dog, my dude.
that dreadful place.
No problem.
So where is this really?
Yes, he lies because he's a
And
kid.
Scar knew he was gonna lie because he was excited about going to a place.
Hey, here's this exciting place, but don't you go to it, little kid. Promise me. Oh, I promise.
It's just like if you tell a kid don't go in the basement. You think a kid is gonna be like, oh, my parents aren't watching. Time to go in the basement.
He's a kid. He's lying. There's no problem about this. I suppose the problem is that he's lying, but again, it's not like
It's in the realm of kids.
yes, and there's consequences for his actions.
Where are you
What-
going? Oh, just down the block. I'm a month in 7 blocks away. Are you telling me as a kid you never lied to your parents that you weren't gonna do something and then you did something? And then if you got in trouble, you stopped doing that thing?
Once you got reprimanded?
Like learning as a kid? Responsibilities and right from wrong and morals and stuff like that? I cannot believe this, dude.
So where is this really cool place?
Oh. Around the water hole.
Not so long as I'm
All
around.
right.
Well, in that case, you're fired. Well, he's the future.
Buzz,
dude.
that's hilarious. You're fired. It's like you can't fire me. You're not the king yet, stupid.
Yeah, but he's gonna be king one day, but not yet.
Yeah. Oh no, he put a bird out of work. He threatened to fire a bird in 5 years.
Yeah. So you have to do what I tell you.
Yes, he's still in his mind as a king. I can do whatever the f I want.
And he has proven that you can't do what you want, and it's about responsibility. This is him learning, no, I can't do it all my way. But this is him thinking, yes, I can do it all my way.
That's what he was like, I thought a king would never be scared of anything. I wanted to be brave like I was scared today.
He has a misconception about what a king is.
Everywhere you look, I'm standing in the spotlight. I am a genius.
He missed the line where I'm brushing up on looking down. So he just called these looking down on these people. That's a great lie. But he's standing in the spotlight. Yes, the king does stand in the spotlight. We see right now that there are 3 males in this entire pride.
We see that when a birth happens, everybody gathers around and the king's just there like, yo.
It was my idea. Yeah, but I pulled it off. Look, bananas.
He's a smug little kid.
I can't believe it.
I can't believe this. Like this is what is the problem ultimately with all these things?
The problem is whatever he's showing, and the equal sign is a kid.
Bratty kid that grows out of that bratty mentality once he realizes that, no, I do have a responsibility that I need to uphold, and then he does so. He's not this character for all of the movie.
is scared.
Right now, we are all in
This is like
very real-
15 minutes in, and you're missing important parts. Like right here, they go, where's Zazu? Once the hyenas get him, and he goes back and just like, hey, pick on somebody your own side. So he goes back for Zazu, who he was just bullying. When they corner him, Nala's behind him cowering, and he's in front of her doing the roar. So he's noble enough to protect these people when he doesn't have a chance. What about those things?
Even Nala afterwards was just like, I thought you were very brave.
What about that? And it's not even false bravado like, I laugh in the face of danger, ha ha ha. No, this is when push comes to shove, he comes back for Zazu.
He protects Nala. Even when Nala was slipping on the rocks, he ran down and slashed the hyena's face.
Good stuff there. Yes, he's a bratty kid, but you see those glimpses of, oh, there's something deeper there. There's that bravery that's not a front, but he's actually doing it.
Danger? Ha! I walk on the wild side. I laugh in the face of danger.
Pause. And then he immediately cowers in fear. He's not as brave as he puts on.
What are you, chicken? No, I'm not chicken. And then you go do the thing as a stupid kid. I cannot believe this man. Entire issue right now is that he's a bratty kid being a kid.
Yes.
Why, you
Yes,
know?
he did almost get them killed. That is a bad thing. But it is not a sequence of events that he's just like, I'm going here to get somebody killed. It is through a bad sequence of, hey, there's hyenas here. This is a dangerous place. I want to go here. I'm brave enough to do this. He didn't expect danger as in death. I don't see that as a problem.
Good flea-bitten varmint! Ooh, I hate that lion!
Now, all of those scenes were condensed, of course, but the context is clear. You will note that not one scene or line of dialogue just played contains anything other than Simba doing one of three things: acting entitled, complaining when he doesn't get things his way, or boasting like a smug little shit.
That's the things that you showed. What about the things that aren't that?
This is straight cherry picking.
Legitimately. This is in such poor faith.
This is the one and only thing I mean when I say that I'm being objective. I'm not being...
Who could have seen this coming?
That was a good hour.
Who
All right, y'all.
who would have known?
Check in for whatever we're doing for the stream. Yeah, you look forward to the
Why
stream.
is it all? Well, how do we always get here?
Hey, we
All
never
roads
left.
leads back to objective. All of them.
This is your interpretation based on the scenes you presented of what Simba is, whereas someone else could have a different interpretation as, hey, he's a bratty kid being a stupid little kid doing stupid little kid thing.
This is the beginning of a character arc where he grows out of this bratty mentality. We have to see point A in order for him to grow through point C. Now, we could start when he's just an adult, but we don't get that whole, oh, this is where the kid came from. He grew out of that. He's better. He learned from this experience. He's accepting his responsibility now. We would miss that if we just go, oh, adult.
Only thing I mean when I say that I'm being objective. I'm not being particularly objective about how I feel about Simba. I think he's a little asshole. But what you were just shown is not coming from me. It's not coming from how I subjectively feel about...
No, the interpretation is coming from you.
Yes.
the character. This is coming...
So I guess Nala's just a little brat too. Or is she also a kid? Because when she's like, where are we really going? He says, Elephant Graveyard. She goes, whoa. She is too excited about it.
When they were just, hey, that was a great plan that I had. She's also entitled by that metric, right?
Oh, but he's going to be king someday.
from the film. Nothing out of context. No.
No! You removed
absolutely out of context.
context, dude!
You said that it was condensed, so you're literally removing context.
You said this is... You didn't even say this is every scene I want to showcase with Simba. You said this is every scene with Simba! And then you stop after he... Without his going through his mom's legs and stuff like that.
He didn't explain the reason why Mufasa even left. It's a dangerous thing. So that's why he's disappointed. That's why... Dude, no!
Impositions.
I never get to go anywhere.
He never gets to go anywhere. He only just took you on a tour of the entire kingdom, you little shit!
He didn't get to go anywhere fun.
And that's why the elephant graveyard is so alluring to him. It's a fun place that he's potentially not allowed to go to so he can show his
And
worth.
it's a kid saying, I never get to go anywhere, even though they go a lot of places. Hey, we're going out to eat. Can I come? No. I never get to go with you guys.
Holy crap.
It's just like the mentality of kids that want to grow up fast so they can go wherever they want and do whatever they want.
This is horrible.
15 minutes in. We got another 50 minutes of this.
Common arguments that people have made about this, sometimes even contradictorily at the same time. The first is that Simba is not an asshole, he's just a little kid. And the second is that Simba is an asshole, but that's okay because he's just a little kid. Kids are just like this. It's part of growing up, and all children act out and get into trouble every once in
Not all children, but a lot of children do.
Yes.
a while.
And then the children grow out of it is the big thing. The children that don't grow out of it are the a-holes that we don't associate with.
Yes, Simba is just a little kid. But so is this.
Well, did you know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
So is this.
I don't go to school and I kill people. Whatever. I do what I want.
So
Cartman, you cannot be serious.
Cartman got some people killed and then fed them to the child of them.
Cartman is a villain. We're not supposed to be feeling anything for Cartman. He rarely learns anything. He rarely grows. We rarely see his humanity.
And the kid talking about hood rat stuff, he's growing up in a bad environment. And if he grows up and remains this, it's going to be an issue.
And I don't
For now, he needs discipline, which is what Simba gets.
I don't know the context of that clip. Because he cut the context.
I think it was a joyride.
He cut the context.
I remember the kid. I think he and his friends took a car for a joyride. And he was like, I don't care. I didn't care.
so is this.
Leave her face. I like her pretty.
In fact, that one is just perfect. I compared Simba to Malfoy the first time around, but he is so...
What? Malfoy's a douchebag. But Malfoy grows up and is still a douchebag.
Yeah. And Malfoy's a racist.
Simba's just a bratty little kid.
much closer to Joffrey. It's just insane.
I've never seen Game of Thrones. I apologize.
It is far from Joffrey.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's great.
Joffrey is legitimately a monster. Right now, right here, beat her up. Believe the face, like I'm pretty.
That's not anything near Simba.
I can't remember. I think he used to suck his mother's breast even when he was like 11 or 12. Big Mama's boy. He's a legit monster. Just like, I don't care who I rape. I don't care who dies. As long as I'm not hurt.
Just like Simba. Just like Simba.
This is like
Patooey.
This is because he's in line to become king someday. This is like what Simba would be if he was the worst human possible. This is like what he wants Simba to be. Because this is what he's saying. This is the perfect analogy.
Down
Joffrey.
the same path.
Yes.
Simba would be like this as a king.
Simba was worried about Nala. He was worried about Zazu.
He was ashamed when he was getting dressed down by his dad.
Joffrey don't care. Kill them all. Rape them all. Beat them all. I don't care. Don't come for me and mine.
Oh, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, the Lannister symbol is a lion, and Simba is a lion, so... Oh my god. Oh my god, it all makes sense! It all makes sense! An entitled little shit who wanted the throne so he could have everything his way. That is Simba.
That is breaking it down to the most base
Holy
level
crap,
of
and there's
what it
nothing
is.
left. There's just, he wanted the throne.
She is literally crying, begging him not to sing, put an arrow through her head. While he has an arrow to her head.
And Simba is going back to save a bird who he doesn't particularly, I don't know if he doesn't like him, but he doesn't respect his authority.
It's an adult. And that's all it is. It's an adult going, no, you can't do that.
Not. Hey, we're going to go on this fun thing accompanied by a stuffy adult. The sooner we get there, the sooner we can leave. Rowan Atkinson was murdering me. He is so good as Zazu.
In a nutshell. I mean...
Does Simba do anything close to this dude? Come on, this is so disingenuous.
Or is he just bratty and entitled?
Simba in a nut...
And he gets dressed down for it. He gets told, no, this is not the way.
Shell. I mean, some of Simba and Joffrey's dialogue are even downright identical.
But I thought a king can do whatever he wants.
The king can do as he likes.
But
that is not even close to the identical.
I thought the king could do whatever they want. No, they can't. Actually, you had a false conception of what you can do. He's yelling that the king can do what he wants and probably was not challenged.
Hey, I mean, you can't say anything bad about Joffrey, right? He's just a little kid.
He perpetuates murder and rape.
Boy, this is a video that triggered watching. He was just like, yeah, me too. I can make horrible analogies, horrible comparisons.
Little kids are like this, right? And I mean, both characters grew up with a privileged life, so that makes it even more okay. That's another excuse for Simba.
No, this is day one of Simba learning that he's gonna be king. He hasn't learned any of the responsibilities that come from that.
And he just went to a place, elephant graveyard that he didn't know was particularly dangerous for an adventure.
He was told, don't do that again, and we don't see anything reckless like that from him again.
Makes sense why he is the way he is, because he's a product of royalty, and that usually causes behavior like this.
No, he's a bratty kid being a brat at times. And Nala's enabling it, so I guess she sucks too.
As if that makes it any better. Yes, children of privilege often behave this way, and we have a word for those children too. We call them assholes. And yes, getting into trouble and exploring your boundaries is a part of growing up, but that doesn't mean it can't piss you off while it's happening. Usually in good stories, someone is disobeying their parents and getting into trouble for the purposes of something good. Like Ariel in The Little Mermaid. She knows she's not supposed to go near the human world, but there's another side to that. Triton was downright prejudiced against the human world, and Ariel's accepting of it was a good thing, despite the fact that she was being disobedient.
Oh wow, a different story entirely than what's being told here.
The only reason Simba was doing anything he did in the first act of the film was to bolster his own ego and impress everyone with how great he is. And I'm sorry.
Who was he trying to impress by going to the elephant graveyard in secret?
There's no impressing anybody there.
Nala? But she went too.
There's nothing heroic about that. There is no...
He's not a hero here! What are you doing?
What the?
He's a bratty little kid doing bratty little kid thing. He did heroic things in it that were partly his fault to begin with, so it's more so taking responsibility for the consequences of your action. But this is not a hero's journey act 1.
No. This is him learning about his
Oh, dude!
Oh.
Nothing good about that. That's just someone being a little shit for no reason and giving us no reason to like him. And they did.
I liked Simba.
Yeah.
He was a little, but I like him.
He's not like dangerous or anything. He's not doing anything reckless that's like, oh, you.
He's cause I as a kid have explored places I shouldn't have been.
But if somebody was just like, yo, there's a bunch of knife muffs over there, I'm like, oh, I'm not going over there. But it's just like,
yo, don't go through that alley. They kill people in it.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, an elephant graveyard isn't a place for you. Oops. Elephant graveyard. Oh, don't go on over there. That's not.
Only a brave person would do. I'm brave.
Are you now?
Okay. Whatever you say. Hey, but Pinky swear you won't go there. I will not.
So good.
Let's make it our little secret too. You got it, Uncle Scar.
Didn't make Simba this way because they thought it would be realistic. They did it because they thought it would be cute. Because
what? How is it not realistic?
Is there a report? And didn't you just say, I know that kids like this happen in real life, so isn't it realistic? They thought it would be cute. Is there an interview where it's just like, why did you make Simba this way? Oh, we thought it'd be cute.
Not realistic.
someone saw Jonathan Taylor Thomas's shitty character on shitty Home Improvement and said, hey, TGIF. Home Improvement actually wasn't TGIF, but you see what I'm saying. Kids love these smart alecky little brat characters, so just take that character, make him into a lion, and boom, instant laughs from the audience. But that's the problem. Cute is all the...
You're not talking about him learning and growing from this. If you want to talk about the theme, this is the theme of responsibility.
Sure.
And he has to learn that responsibility. It's not just all fun and games.
Facing your past, not running away from your past, all these types of things.
It's not just fun and games, and he learns that, and he becomes a good king.
But that's the problem. Cute is all they were thinking about in making Simba the character he was.
And you see, he has no evidence. He made a claim, and now he's just going for it. They weren't thinking about realism. They were thinking about cute because they got Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So now that they got the cute thing, now Simba's just a little a-hole. Like, no, you didn't prove your point there.
He didn't prove the point and then went to expand on the point.
That's not how you do that.
No one was really thinking about what this implies about Simba as a person.
Hey, where is your evidence of this, sir?
All up in people's minds. And then just going, no, you're wrong for thinking that. You're wrong for thinking that people thought that.
Or how it impacted the rest of the first act. There is simply nothing to like about this kid. Even if you're amused by him, what is there to care?
His excitement. I like his excitement. I like his enthusiasm. I like that he's brave enough to just go. Mufasa goes, everything the light touches is our kingdom. What about over there? That's the elephant. He didn't say it. He said that's shadowy part. We don't rule that.
You must never go there.
Don't go there.
You deliberately disobeyed.
You deliberately disobeyed me. I can't get that bass. I can't go that low. I had my bass boosters up and it was shaking. I'm like, oh my goodness.
You're just talking, sir.
You got the vocals of a plane. Just roar. It's like, oh no, don't even worry about getting an actual lion's roar. Just have James do it. Roar. Double that up the volume, got it.
He ain't even try.
But yeah, I enjoy his enthusiasm, his bravery. Again, the protecting parts that I talked about. I mean, he's excited that he's gonna be king. And he's thinking about all the things that he's gonna do.
I like that he really felt bad about going to the elephant graveyard, because when Scar's just like, yo, just stay on this rock. Everybody knows what you did. But there'll be a surprise where he's just like, dang, I really
He felt ashamed because of his little roar.
And he kept working at it.
And he worked on it. He was proud when it echoed, and he was just like, yeah. Stuff like that. Little things.
Care about other than that. But the last point that people usually bring up that I would like to address here is this. Simba isn't an asshole in any objective sense. Another fair assessment...
I'm so tired of objective. I'm so sick of it. We can do this without objective. We can always do it. Always.
I don't care about objectivity or subjectivity.
0%.
Just make your point and evidence it, and then expand on it, so I don't have questions after the fact of what you meant. It's really not hard.
We don't have to bring objectivity into this.
Him is that he's just a rambunctious little scamp. He may get on your nerves, but that's just you. Lots of people just think he's a lovable troublemaker, and that interpretation is no less valid than your own. And that's actually true. I have no idea how anyone can watch the clips I played earlier or the movie
out of complete context and not showing any of his good traits or even the full scenes you showed that showed why he did the things he did or what happened right after the fact. Just in the worst possible light.
Legitimately.
For that matter, and not think Simba is an insufferable little brat bastard. But if you don't, I guess that is your own valid interpretation. But as I thought about that fact, I realized Simba being an asshole wasn't actually my biggest problem. My biggest problem is that Simba's struggle and conflict in the first act just seems so completely pointless and unrelated to the rest of the film, whether you think he's an asshole or not. I mean, look at what we have here. We have a shitty little brat or spirited little scamp who wants to rule the kingdom selfishly, get his way all the time, have fun, and just do whatever he wants.
Like a kid.
Yeah.
Wanting to be an adult. Okay, I'm not going to pause this.
Now, this is strikingly similar to another young ruler of a kingdom who just wanted to get his way all the time. Oh, what's his name? What's his name?
What's his name? Cusco!
Boom, baby!
Let me just stop the review right here and explain something. I love this movie. 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 And let me tell you, that actually surprised a hell of a lot of people when I revealed that, as most seem to guess that I would hate Cusco just as much as Simba because they're basically the same character. And it's true.
No, they're not.
They are. Hell,
no, they're not. Cusco is in the throes of him being king, not actively caring about people. People coming up to him just like, please, sir, we need help. He's like, this ain't got nothing to do with me.
You need help.
Yeah, he threw off my groove when somebody steps in front of him and they get thrown out of the window. That's completely different than somebody going, yeah, I'm going to do all this. And his daddy going, no, it's not like that. We don't get to see the Simba that would be...
The alternate dimension Simba.
If he didn't run away. Which I believe that Mufasa would have taught him right. Because again, he dressed them down. He listened to them.
And it's true. They are. Hell, they even have the same lines every once in a while.
Well, in that case, you're fired.
Oh, and by the way, you're fired.
But you see, the reason I...
What is this?
I don't know what you just said.
What is this? You can't do that!
I think you can.
Of The Emperor's New Groove is because it was actually about Cusco's transformation from the bratty, selfish, egotistical ruler.
Dude, are you really comparing the entire movie of The Emperor's New Groove to the first act of The Lion King? Because Simba's journey did the same thing. Taking responsibility.
Yes. Now you could say that The Emperor's New Groove did it better. You could say, you could compare them, whatever. You can't say that Lion King did not do this. You can't say that Lion King was not about this.
More compassionate and caring. Every step of his journey was a step closer to learning how to care and to empathize with people. Thus, it kind of became...
Simba doesn't not empathize with people, so the journey is not the exact same. He cares about Nala and Zazu. That's why he goes back for them. He was just ashamed that he got his father killed. So he ran away. And Nala's just like, yo, it's horrible right now. You gotta come back. I can't come back.
And then it was just, you remember who you are.
All right, and going back.
Him in his more selfish moments because you knew that it was all part of the learning process.
How do you know when you first get there, when you're first watching it?
How do you? You don't.
So when he's a douchebag, it's cool because I know he won't be a douchebag at the end.
And at the end of the film, we see him change from this to this. Kuzco being the little shit that he was in the beginning was the conflict, and his reformation was the resolution. But that's not the case with The Lion King. It starts out with Simba being a brat, but then changes to something totally unrelated. We'll see how in a bit. So after Simba is shown
them, come on now.
So what he's saying is that Simba being a brat, the journey wasn't about him being less of a brat. So that's why it's not as good. As opposed to him just being less bratty when he gains responsibility.
Entire kingdom, he naturally gets pissed off because he didn't get to do one thing that he wanted to do, so he goes to complain about this to his uncle. Now, here is one of my favorite parts of the film, the moment where Scar proves my point better than I ever could. Just watch.
He didn't show you what's beyond that rise of the northern border.
Well, no. He said I can't go there.
And he's absolutely right. It's far too dangerous. Bravest lions go there.
Well, I'm brave.
An elephant graveyard is no place for a young prince. Oops.
An elephant what? Whoa.
Promise me you'll never visit that dreadful place.
No problem.
There you have it in a nutshell, folks. I mean,
Scar manipulating Simba to go to there so he can be killed by hyenas.
A child not being smart enough to realize that they're being manipulated.
A child hearing something super cool that's forbidden and going, hey, maybe I'm gonna want to do this.
Scar wants Simba to go to the elephant graveyard, so knowing Simba very well at this point, he recognizes that the best way to get him to do this is to tell him not to go to the elephant graveyard.
Because only the bravest lions go.
You can't go because you're not brave. Yeah, well, yes, I am.
Oh, really? Well, promise me you won't go anyway.
What's more, he plays into his ego, telling him that only the bravest lion...
Oh, dude. Okay, what do you think this point is proving?
That Simba is egotistical and he's... I don't know.
Go there. Simba will naturally try to impress people by proving how brave he is in going there. I mean, Scar's plan revolves around knowing precisely what a two-faced little shit Simba is. I mean...
What?
Oh, you were wrong. Oh, dude, your face is crumbled. You look in disarray. This is a horrible video, y'all.
How can you just straight face just straight out just misconstrue scenes and stuff like that and characters and again, nothing about the future, nothing about him growing past this. Just a little 7-year-old being like, well, I'm brave.
Oh, are you? Okay. I just want to see what he has been doing recently. Lion King 2 mixed review, Confused Mathew 8 months ago.
Is that the archive? Because he has an archive channel.
Oh, yep, archive. Does he not have an actual one anymore?
No, he has an actual one.
Oh, yeah, because that's where you got the Lion King. Okay, there it is. Apex Legends. Yeah, it looks like he just kind of... Oh, wait, no, he hasn't streamed in like a year. He might have stopped doing YouTube. Let's check out the Vimeo channel, because he said he's got a Vimeo channel now. Oh, I just can't wait to be...
Alright, Twitter does not exist. Let's see, it's Twitch. Last live 2 years ago. Facebook. His Facebook is on his YouTube, so I'm not like doxing him or doing anything creepy. That doesn't exist either. Might just be gone.
Well, sounds like he's just done with YouTube. All right, then. That doesn't stop this from being horrible.
God! Okay, that's the last time I bring up Simba being an asshole. I promise. I still think he is.
That first video.
Are you serious?
This is him just replying to what people are saying about his first review. This is him thinking that he's counteracting them. Hang on.
Oh no, we're not looking up the first review, are we?
Then you're fired, you dickface. When I think of the heroes in the last 3 Disney films, I can see that they all have something in common. They were all genuinely good people who had lots of hopes and dreams, and they cared about the people in their lives. The only Disney character that...
Aladdin was a thief!
All right, then. Alright.
Maybe I'm just setting my sights too high. I can prevent one. Here in town is only... Simba lies to his own mother's face and tells her that they're going to the water hole. You know...
You ain't never lied to your mama?
Sarabi says it's fine as long as Zazu goes with them to chaperone. And Simba appears to be resentful of this. I don't really
Stuff
know
you
why.
do it!
After all, this is a golden opportunity for him to treat someone else in his life like shit. So they get pretty close to the water hole.
Oh, dude.
Holy crap!
This is unbelievable.
This dude is horrible!
In this movie, every possible benefit of the doubt, I will now assume that he's nothing more than a spirited little scamp. So this spirited little scamp then lies to his mother's face and tells her that they want to go to the water hole, and being a spirited little scamp, he then spiritedly brings a friend along to this dangerous and forbidden place, and spiritedly nearly gets 2 people killed. That's our Simba. But after that, we actually have a...
I don't know what the complaint is going to be. Explain the context. Explain that he didn't mean to do any of that. Mistakes happen. Accidents happen. He is dressed down for it. He regrets it. He's sorry about it. He tried everything that he could to save them multiple times. No, just the actions. That's incredibly disingenuous.
Really good scene. I know I've praised this scene numerous times, but it really is just so good. Both these characters have a moment of bonding, and Simba actually learns something from his dad, something that could potentially make him grow as a character.
After the bad thing, it's almost like cause and effect, because you don't get this scene if he doesn't do something reckless like that. Or forbidden like that.
The problem is, it doesn't really amount to much down the line, but again, we'll get to that later. Meanwhile, Scar is pissed off that the hyenas didn't succeed in killing the cubs, even though he made it so easy for them by playing to Simba's more spirited tendencies. Man, this whole benefit of the doubt thing is getting really backhanded, isn't it? Sorry. So he scolds the hyenas by telling them in song that he plans to use them to take over the kingdom, which is what he was already doing.
Based on what?
Based on what? What did he do to take over the kingdom up until this point? What evidence do you have that he was going to? What plans did he have against Mufasa? What has he done before this moment to take over the kingdom? Was it all just in his head thinking about him? The hyenas didn't know about it. Because the hyenas are stupid, and he says that the very first line of the song is, "I know that your powers of retention are as wet as a warthog's backside." So he's going, you guys are stupid, so let me tell you this in plain English.
On top of that, the hyenas go, "Oh wait, I know you. You're Mufasa's right-hand man," which is probably makes you the king's son. It wasn't even just like, "Yo, we know who you are, and it's time to kill you because Scar told us." So for all we know, he just led Simba into a place where he was most likely to be killed, and it just didn't happen.
There's been no evidence that he knows the hyenas are working with him up until this very moment. And there's been no plans that this is the plan to kill Mufasa and Simba up until this very moment.
So why do we need to watch this? I mean, the scene looks great and the song is fantastic.
It's his motivations. It's him being more sniveling and sniving, the tiptoeing thing and stuff like that. And he's explaining his plans to these hyenas.
Who are stupid.
I
mean, literally look at the screenshot.
Literally,
right now.
he goes, we're going to kill the king. And they just go, yeah, no king. And they're not even putting it together like, oh, he's going to be king. And then we're going to benefit from that. Because they're stupid.
I mean, the scene looks great, and the song is fantastic on its own, especially with that seamlessly dubbed Jim Cummings part that no one spotted because Jim Cummings is freaking amazing.
Pause.
But
you just said that why not have actual voice actors in this? And they did.
What does this song tell us that we didn't already know?
That's where I heard.
What did we know about Scar up until this moment?
What do we know about any plans to kill Simba and Mufasa up until this moment? Hey, we'll do this. I'll take over, and the hyenas benefit now. I didn't know that until this song.
And this is the chance of a lifetime because Simba is still young and not really able to defend himself.
We saw the hyenas. I mean, there's like 30 hyenas to like 9 lionesses getting pieced up. They can't fight the lions head on, period.
Mufasa took 3 of them. They were all scared.
Oh, right. There is one thing. He's not just rallying 3 hyenas anymore. Now we see him rallying all the hyenas and promising them food and land in exchange for following him.
Stick with me.
Hey, so that's a new thing that we learned then,
Oh,
isn't
look
it?
at that. That is a new thing that we learned.
And you'll never go hungry again.
Well, you don't need all of them, right? I mean, it was just the 3 hyenas that caused the stampede.
But it keeps him in power when he does things like ruin all of the lands.
So now the lionesses cannot gang up on him because he has packs and packs of hyenas. He has guard dogs on him. He's a conniving piece of crap. So when something needs to get done, he sends other people to do them, like the hyenas. It's good to have as many of them as you can to order them to get things done.
He doesn't need them for this plan, but he needs them for the follow-up. How do you not understand this?
And they're stupid and easy to command. It's not like he's expending any resources to gain a lot of power. They were excited over a little zebra leg. And he's like, I can offer you everything. Just do what I say. And now it's not reluctant lionesses just going, ugh, fine. It's hyenas just going, yeah, boss, let's go. Hey, kill Simba. Got it. And then once it was just like, kill Simba, no words exchanged. It wasn't the fun, snappy, ha ha ha, thing like in the elephant graveyard. No, it was not a word exchange. It was action time. That's the point. Now you go, why do they need all of them? What kind of criticism is that? What's the difference between all and 3? What difference does it make if he only gets those 3? What changes? Essentially nothing. But he just has more now, more guns. Dang, you only need 1 gun. I got 15.
The army may only need 3 people for a job, but if it goes down, it's nice to have 1,000 soldiers, don't you believe?
A Burger King only needs an employee. It's going to get slow, but it's going to be not exactly to the speed of service that you need, but you can do it with 1 person.
But isn't it better to have 7? Like the minimum for working at McDonald's is 3 up front, 2 in the back, and 2 in the grill, 1 in the back, I believe. I think it's about 7 employees on a shift is what's needed to actually run the store. And that's the bare minimum you need. But wouldn't it be better if there were 11 employees? How do you not understand the also,
benefit?
He actually retired in 2018.
Really?
Yep. Just like, I'm done. So
good.
Didn't do anything. You're going to give a zebra leg to 3 of the hyenas for killing 2 people, and now you're going to give an entire kingdom to all the hyenas for killing 2 people. Not really sure how this benefits you.
Loyal guard dogs. Loyalty.
Probably wouldn't have had that much of a problem ruling if you hadn't have done this, since there wouldn't have been...
Unless the lions fight back against your rule.
So many mouths to feed. What is he
I love that scene where she's just head up, just not even paying attention to him
while they're snipping at her legs.
So good.
Nope, don't even give a shit.
Fucking stupid? He had an airtight plan that no one in the kingdom saw through. He could have taken the throne with no one questioning this, and he wouldn't have owed anyone. What did he need to bring the hyena?
How does he get the stampede to go then?
Oh, he only needs those 3.
Okay, so then those 3 hyenas just go back to the thing and just go, we're fat and full. Where you get all that food from? Oh, the Scar, he's leading the place. Oh, Scar, how many lions is it? 9 of them? Let's go kill them all. And then you have to deal with every single hyena, and they're not loyal to you. And you don't have that power that Mufasa has. Yeah. You don't have that fear.
You can't give paws to 13 of them at a time. No.
So that's once they rock up, you just gonna go. You gonna just go into default sniveling Scar mode that you constantly went into when you were on the back foot of just like, no, Simba, please, you can't do this. I'm your uncle. You wouldn't kill your uncle.
My friends.
We were your enemies. Oh no, that was
Wait, please let me explain.
Whatever he gotta do to get his power.
To bring the hyenas into this force.
And pause. What you think he's gonna be like? Yeah, the food's gonna run out. No, he's just like, I get everything that I want at all times.
Even when everything was running out, he's just went. You're not looking hard enough.
It's out there. And a good scene in the new one is when he's just eating the food. He just goes, come feast with me.
What
like
could they
only goodens
possibly do for him other than make the food source scarce?
Protect him from an uprising. Because he has loyalty on his side. You truly are confused, Matthew.
Yes. It's very simple.
I know he uses them as muscle against Simba later on, but that was happenstance. He thought Simba...
Happenstance.
What if another incident pops off outside of Simba? Scar can't fight. He know he can't. He threw literal magma rocks in Simba's eye and still got the paw.
And then went right for the neck. Got 2 bites on the neck and still got pieced up. The way that lion packs work is... It's either the son comes in and kills the dad and takes over, or the son tries, doesn't succeed, goes off to another pack to kill that lion's leader and then become the leader. So then a young strapping lion comes up and he's like, I'm not a fighter, kill him. Or weaken him enough so that I can kill him. So he dies old and fat and happy and then just doesn't care anymore.
Was dead. What was he using them for other than that? Seriously, I mean, is he freaking stupid? I already said that. Yes, he's stupid. It's the Lion King. Everyone is stupid. So cut to the next day where Simba is taken to a rock in the middle of nowhere, stampede ensues, daring rescue takes place, and Mufasa comes down with a really bad case of death. Last time around, I criticized this part of the movie heavily because Simba simply and unequivocally had nothing to do with Mufasa's death. There isn't even any way to spin it that way.
Pause. So long as he believed that he did, that's all that matters. And he believed that he did. He roared, it echoed, he smiled, he looked over the gorge, and there was a bunch of wildebeest coming. He believed that he caused that. He believed that the reason that the wildebeest came and he was scared, and then Mufasa came, he died, so it's his fault that Mufasa died. And then it's also compounded when Scar comes up, and the first thing that he says is, "What have you done, Simba?" And then Simba goes, "What did I do?" No. It was an accident. Not even questioning anything. So long as he believes that he did it, and he has reason to believe that he did it, it stands.
Not even on the level of an 8-year-old. The movie doesn't even seem to know why Simba is supposed to have been responsible for this. Simba was on a rock when the stampede happened. Who put him on the rock? Scar. Simba even tried to get off the rock, but was kept there by Scar's insistence.
I'll go with you.
No.
No, just stay on this rock.
So, in what way?
Where's the roar, sir?
Where's the roar
before the stampede?
that he believed caused the stampede?
Where's the roar, sir?
He is distraught over his dad's death. He's not going to be like, "But you told me to stay up here." That was a harrowing experience. You think he's going to remember back to the beginning of it?
Hey, does Simba think he was at fault here? The answer.
Mufasa was there to save him.
If he wasn't there, Mufasa would not have come.
What is this? Pause. Oh, you missed it.
Oh, dang.
Lion King fans is, hey, what are you, stupid? Simba did a little roar, and he thought that that's what caused the stampede in the first place. So,
Okay.
You know, it was a freaking little roar. What, are you freaking stupid? Scar told him to do that, too.
Ooh.
And he did it, and then a stampede happened.
So he thinks it's his fault. He's not going to pass the blame when he's sad about his dad dying. And his uncle is just like, "You did this." And then his uncle is just like, "Well, no matter what happens, if it wasn't for you, Mufasa wouldn't be dead. So you did this." He's just layering it on them. That's what it is.
What do you think? Okay, let's say all that happens. And Simba's just like, "No, it's not my fault. You told me to be on the rock. You told me to roar, practice my roar." Yes, and then this happened. Don't try to pass the blame, Simba. No matter what I told you to do, you are the cause of this.
This was your roar. I told you to work on it, but you did it too good. No matter what, all he needs to do is just have Simba run away and then killed. And it's easy to do that with a distraught child and a big brain like Scar. And the fact that everybody's stupid in The Lion King, apparently, according to Confused Mathew.
Just between us, you might want to work on that little roar of yours.
Oh, okay.
Moreover, Scar has no way on Earth of knowing if Simba did a little roar or not, so when it comes to Scar's plan, he has nothing to base blaming Simba on at all.
Yes, he said that everybody knows what happened down there at the elephant graveyard. So he does know about the little roar. So he would have knowledge of the little roar outside of the big evil plan.
He's saying that he wouldn't know if Simba did a roar here.
Oh, okay. But he said to work on it.
Yeah.
And he knows that Simba, because he already manipulated him into going to the elephant graveyard, he knows that Simba's going to do what he told him to, especially since he shamed him and you got a little puny roar. Work on that.
Thing Simba did was something Scar told him to do. And I'm not even sure that that is what the writers were trying to get across in this scene. I mean, listen to this dialogue. Please tell me how this being Simba's fault is being communicated here.
Simba.
What have you done?
What have you done?
There were wildebeest and you tried to save me. It was an accident. I didn't mean for it to happen.
Pause. And that's his recollection of the things that happened. It was the wildebeest. He tried to save me. I didn't mean for this to happen.
It was an accident.
It was an accident. What is Scar gonna do? No, I told you to do that. Don't you remember? No, he's in his mind already of, no, this was an accident. I didn't mean for this to happen.
Of course.
And then he continues, of course. No matter, but he's dead though. So that's
the king is dead.
And it's your fault.
Of course you didn't. No one ever means for these things to happen. But the king is dead. And if it weren't for you, he'd still be alive.
Yes, technically true, but...
The mind of a grieving child seeing his father dying is gonna logically go, technically, Uncle Scar, you are correct.
Objection, Your Honor.
You're not looking at this objectively, Uncle Scar. That's your interpretation of it. But if it weren't for you telling me to be here, Uncle Scar, as I am less than a year old, this wouldn't have happened. My father dying in front of my eyes after almost getting stomped by a bunch of wildebeest. Dang, why aren't you looking at this logically, Uncle Scar? As my underdeveloped brain
racked with grief
pieces together that, dang, maybe it is my... No, Uncle Scar. You told me to do this. You are the one at fault,
and
Uncle
as
Scar.
your king, I exile you, bitch.
Now let me go back and explain how awful you were.
How? I mean, are you gonna give a reason, or are you just gonna stick to this vague truism? The car blew over, and if it weren't for the wind, it would still be right side up. This statement is true, but it contains no useful information.
What? There is no... Who are you trying to convince in that situation?
This would be like if a kid had borrowed their parents' car and they were just like, don't get in any accidents, okay? And then they went to a super windy place and it blew over. Well, I didn't mean for it to blow. Well, it's still blown over. It's still on its side. It's still scraped up. Regardless of what you meant, this happened. So, are you saying that Scar shouldn't be blaming the wind or the wind shouldn't blame itself for knocking over the car?
What's he saying with that?
Because the wind did it. Let me go back. What was even your point there?
Blew over. Have a reason, or are you just gonna stick to this vague truism? The car blew over, and if it weren't for the wind, it would still be right side up. This statement is true, but it contains no useful information. I mean...
The car blew over, and if it weren't for the wind, it wouldn't have blew over. What useful information could be gleaned from if you hadn't done your little roar and echoed off the walls? See, it's so funny that he's just like, it's so obvious what Scar is doing, and why isn't anybody realizing it? But then he's questioning, why isn't anybody talking about, it's all this vagary?
Yeah, he talks about omitting truths and stuff.
This is his fault because, what? Just because he needed rescue? Huh?
You were in the situation for your father to die. Were you not in this situation, your father would be alive. So now he's just even to the point of just going, dang, if I had gone up that rock instead of up that little tree, he'd be alive and I wouldn't be needing rescue.
But as I look back on my original review, I've come to the conclusion that this is just a story and writing problem. But it's not, as I first said, a character problem. I blamed Simba directly for not catching on to this, but I no longer think that's reasonable. I've heard the arguments that Simba was in a state of great emotional grief and conflict, and that would be enough to make vulnerable even an adult, and it's true. I mean, look at The Little Mermaid as an example.
Oh, dude. We keep saying what other people have said, and he's answering.
Because
his answers are so trash.
It's the logical answer to these problems. So he goes, here's the problem, here's what people said is a problem with my problem, and here's the counter to that. And the counter is horrible, like you said.
Some people get on Ariel's case for trading her family and friends for a pair of legs, but I actually don't think she would have done that had she not just had a huge fight with her father, which threw her into a state of emotional rebellion. So by that logic, I am willing to concede that maybe I was expecting just a little too much from a child that just watched his father be trampled to death. So there you go. Score 1 for the Lion King fans.
So why did you add it in this? If it's not an issue. If it's an issue, but then it's not really an issue because people said that, oh yeah, grief, so it's not really an issue. What's the point? That's wasted time.
And you know what? I'd even say that after Simba goes away and has some time to come to grips with his grief, he'll probably have a moment of introspection where he learns that he wasn't responsible for his father's death.
Why would he, when he's barely even thinking about it? He's put it all out of his mind and no worries, whatever. Yeah. I'm living life.
He doesn't even like to think about his dad.
What Mona? It takes kids. If a kid blames himself for their parents' death, do you think they're just gonna wake up 6 years later and go, "Nah, that wasn't on me"? Sometimes it takes years of therapy for them to let go of that grief and to realize it wasn't their fault. Maybe if I was just better.
Even if he was just a child, and maybe he should cut himself some slack. Hell, he'll probably even be a better man for the experience, and he can return to Pride Rock with his head held high, knowing that at the very least, this experience has helped him grow. At least that's what might have happened if it wasn't for these assholes! But before we get into all that...
If not for them, Simba would be dead.
Yep.
Either dehydrated in the desert or picked apart by buzzards. Dead.
Let's just take a break. Gotta throw my voice out on the whole Simba thing. Let's just take a break.
Are we to assume that you recorded all that in one shot? Because I don't believe that. Or is this just a funny joke because you're a funny man?
You know the answer.
Okay, before we get into the issue of my past and present feelings on Timon and Pumbaa, I want to talk about something else. I just have one question for the entire audience. What is the central conflict in this movie? As I understand it, it's
Simba's
the main...
coming to terms with his responsibility and his grief.
Main character feeling responsible for his father's death and running away from his problems. The main character then must learn the lesson that rather than running from your past, you can simply learn from it and move forward a bit wiser than you were. So with that in mind, second...
Which was the exact opposite of what Timon and Pumbaa said, when they were just like, forget about it. Doesn't matter. It's in the past. We're right here, right now. Because Simba was just like, is there anything that we can do to help you? Timon or Pumbaa said that. And he goes, not unless you can change the past. And they were just like, whatever about that. So this is just going, don't forget about your past. Learn from it.
Question. What the fuck hell does any of that have to do with him running around and acting like an entitled little dick bastard for the first act of the movie? Oh, I'm sorry, running around like a cute little spirited scamp. No matter how many ways you slice it, nothing that happened in the first act of this film has anything to do with what the film is actually about.
Mufasa was teaching him about responsibility
the expectation
and boundaries
of responsibility, and then the actuality of that responsibility.
What it means to be a king.
Not just doing what you want, not just going wherever you want, but doing what needs to be done.
And Simba did not take that lesson to heart with his song, I Can't Wait to Be King. He did not take it to heart by going to Elephant Graveyard. And then he takes it to heart later on in the film. Remember who you are, what you are. I'm going back. I know what I gotta do. That's what the first act did. And it set up characters and plot points that are paid off later, either within the first act or later on in the movie. Like in Nala always pinning Simba. And like Scar's plans.
So much.
This is unbelievable, disingenuous criticism and analysis. I cannot believe a person is this disingenuous about this movie.
The second time around, after hearing all that criticism, after tailoring it for the criticisms.
Unbelievable.
About. Seriously, let's break this down and look at everything that came before the stampede. Again, giving every benefit of the doubt. Simba was a cub that was trying to be brave like his father, but he...
Because that's what a king is!
Yes, and then he instantly learned that a king is not always brave and strong. They can be scared as well.
But they have to do what must be done.
He didn't realize that being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble. Mufasa then teaches him that lesson, and now, thanks to his father's good advice, Simba can begin trying to add a little balance to his more impetuous tendencies. Great! Except, what does that have to do with anything else in the movie? That is a completely different conflict than Simba needing to learn to not run from his past, and it's a conflict that got resolved within the first hour of the film. I mean, it's done. The film is...
Are you... So, him running from his issues cannot be seen as cowardly, trying to free his past, and then nutting up and being brave and coming back. That lesson he learned from his father.
You don't go looking for trouble. He didn't go looking for trouble by going back to Pride Rock. He did his responsibility.
That plays into it. He only remembered that responsibility once he talked to his father, which is essentially a manifestation of his guilt.
Look closer. It's so good. Rafi was killing it. They're all so good in this movie.
About something else now. The only relevant event to the actual movie was Mufasa's death and Simba's reaction to it. The actual conflict begins when Simba is older and refuses to take responsibility for his...
Responsibility! It's not all about doing what you want to, son. Hey, I'm just chilling here on my vine, doing what I want to.
No worries.
Hey, son, remember who you are. Ah, crap, I'm a king. Responsibility time. What's the problem here? It's beginning and ends with responsibility. He's a little kid, just like, I don't want any responsibilities.
And when I'm king, I'm not gonna have responsibilities. I'm gonna do whatever I want.
No, you can't actually do that.
Oh.
And then Timon and Pumbaa goes, yeah, you can. And then Nala goes, no, you can't. And then Rafiki goes, no, you can't. He goes, I can't.
Take responsibility for his life. I believe I said something to this effect in the first review in what I believe was a state of mild displeasure. This character is the way he is for reasons totally unrelated to this character. If this character was going to be
Goodness gracious.
Responsibility, dude.
Yes.
Completely irrelevant to the last 2/3 of this film, why did we even need to watch the first third?
Because he doesn't understand what responsibility or being a king means. And then it's resolved in the third act when he learns his responsibility and what it truly means to be a king. How is it this hard to understand 7 years apart? Hey, we're doing this 7 years after.
Oh, look at that. Odd how that works.
Why didn't you just start the film right here?
Because then what happened?
What happened?
Where is everybody? Why isn't he taking responsibility? Where is the setup for the conflict?
Then we would just have to have a series of flashbacks with him killing his dad and sniveling Scar and stuff like that.
Yeah, that. Hyperbole aside, however, the point remains true. The film really does begin here. This is where Simba starts the actual...
Hey, why is he here right now? Because if this is where the film starts, where is everyone? Why is Simba here and not on Pride Rock? Oh, because of everything that preceded it? Okay, thematically, why is he here? Oh, because he's running from his responsibilities. Based on the death of his father that he thinks is his fault. And instead of just going, I was responsible for that, let's move on from it, he'd rather turn his back on it and not worry about it. How hard could it be to understand a movie targeted to 9-year-olds?
Pretty simple.
It's such a simplistic story. thematically, dramatically, written-wise, story beats. It is a simple story that can be grasped by, I would assume, almost anyone, until I'm watching this and going, what's the point of the first act of the movie?
Conflict that will actually be resolved at the end of the film. I mean, look at Frozen, a film that has been...
Frozen sucked!
It's fine. The writer for Lilo and Stitch was just like disappointed. It's been a big Twitter thing of just like people were asking about a non-romantic, just two girls and it's
sisterhood,
like, and people were praising Frozen for that. And we did that in Lilo and Stitch, and nobody talking about that. I was like, yeah, but did you have Let It Go? No, you didn't. So get the
Let It
here.
Go is not a good song, y'all. I will fight anybody.
I think it's fine.
Do you think it's a top 10
No.
Disney song? Do you think it's top 15?
Potentially.
Prince of Egypt?
Oh, no, yeah, never mind. Because you could just dump all of Lion King. You could just dump all of Mulan. Prince of Egypt.
Coco?
Oh, yeah, no, never mind.
I think Bruno?
I think we're in the top 25 range.
Potentially. Aladdin? Whole New World?
Yeah, I think we're in the top 25 range.
Maybe top 25. I need to look up Disney movies to see. You not hitting me with a top 15 of Frozen. I refuse.
compared to The Lion King numerous times. Now, these films are so dissimilar and so obviously not the same film that I don't even feel...
Who compares them?
I have no idea. But then you're bringing up Star Trek. So...
feel like I need to explain why. I can't be everyone's personal common sense all the time. Sometimes you just have to use your own. The films are nothing alike, except for one general way. They both involve a character fleeing...
Wait, but you're comparing Simba to Joffrey based off of essentially one similarity of they're both meant to be king and entitled.
He is.
And then coming back. That's it. But in the case of Frozen, everything that happened to Elsa in her childhood absolutely carries through in all three acts. Her fear of her own powers and keeping herself isolated was the central conflict for her character's arc through the whole film. Seeing her as a child and watching her grow up with that chain around her neck was not only relevant to the story, it was downright indispensable. By contrast, nothing that we see Simba do or experience matters before the stampede.
Responsibility. I'm tired of explaining it to this guy.
Nothing. When Elsa runs away, she is running away from something that she's been hiding her whole life. But when Simba runs away, he's running away from something that just happened. There is nothing connecting...
He feels responsible for...
I don't care about this argument that people are making. I don't care. I'm not making this argument. I've never heard this argument.
Oh, dude, it's just like when people are in our comment section. Oh, there people say that. I'm not saying
I'm
that.
not people.
What's the point? What's your counterpoint to anything we've said? I'm so tired of people going, this whole video's trash. Blah, blah. Do you have something specific? No reply. Did you even watch?
We're done.
Honestly.
We're done.
To Acts 2 and 3. So I ask again, why did we even need to watch any of this?
To see where he came from, his responsibility, his thoughts of what a king is, and learning what it truly is.
So back at the kingdom, Scar is spinning his yarns by telling everyone that Mufasa and Simba both died. I guess nobody ever thought to go back to look for bodies to confirm this, and also there's Zazu, who was smacked across the wilderness by Scar, yet he never brings this up.
Pause. Number one, looking for bodies. Okay, you got Mufasa's body. Simba's body is smaller. We just didn't find him. Done. Where is he? Where is Simba? Oh, he's not here? Presumed dead. Why did Mufasa go down there for Simba? Mufasa's dead. Maybe Simba's dead as well. Zazu, he got hit. Did he see where he got hit? He got hit from behind. So it's not, and he got knocked out. So you just go, he got knocked out.
I don't know, maybe he's just stupid and thought another bird flew into him, or maybe the conch on the head gave him some conveniently specific brain damage. But I think a more common sense...
He got hit from behind. Do you remember when you get... Do people remember when they get knocked out? How they got knocked out?
No, because people will finish wrestling matches and go, I don't remember anything about it. They'll have to watch the tape and go, oh, is that what happened? I actually finished that match?
So
they have memory loss from immediately before, during, and after.
From Zazu's perspective, he was going, I need to go get help, and then he woke up.
Once again, we have a clear case of duh. In any event, Scar is now in charge.
So it is with a heavy heart that
I take the throne.
Yet out of the ashes of this tragedy, we shall rise to greet the dawning of a new era in which lion and hyena come together in a great and glorious future.
That's the end of the movie, right? I mean, Scar won. He won. He took over the kingdom, brought it to ruin, made everyone's life miserable, and no matter when Simba comes back and makes things better, he can never remove all the years of suffering and misery they all had to endure. That's the villain winning. That's the conflict itself coming to fruition and beating out the good guy.
Pause. The villain won temporarily.
Hey,
and then they lose later.
The villain won in Star Wars then, I guess, because the Empire just ruled over the galaxy for like 30 years.
The villain won in Little Mermaid because she got her voice.
So I guess every villain has always just won. Can't take away the suffering that happened. So Voldemort just won.
Scar won. I don't even know if this counts as a point against the writers or a point for them, because I can't think of one other Disney film where the villain actually won. And the best the good guy can hope for now...
Little Mermaid, you done cited that a couple of times. When was Disney's acquisition of Marvel?
I think 2004, I want to say 2002 or 2004, one of them.
Because this is 2015. Nah, Avengers Endgame wasn't out by then.
No, definitely not. Avengers Endgame was, I want to say, 2019. Because I think Endgame came out right after Infinity War, right before the pandemic hit.
Yep, 19. Yeah, Little Mermaid, done. Bing, bang, boom.
I mean, how many, even if you want to go, I can't think of any Disney movies where this happens. How many Marvel movies have the villain winning in the midpoint? Like, how many times has Loki won?
Yeah, you need a second act low point. Or is it third act? I don't know what it is. But the low point is usually when the antagonist is on top. This is a victory, but it's not a win. He won the battle, but not the war.
Which happens in a lot of films and series and books and stuff. Like, how often does the villain not be on top for a little while?
Is maybe stopping him after the fact. I'm just gonna go ahead and make that a feather in their cap because, geez, the villain won? Jeez. So anyway, getting back...
I cannot believe he's going the villain won. Terrible. Like, it doesn't have... what's even the point?
What is the point?
To Timon and Pumbaa, finally. They both see poor Simba nearly being eaten alive, and they both...
No, they don't. They just having fun doing what they call vulture bowling or something like that. They don't see him. This is not a plan for them to save him.
They even go, oh, wait, I think this one's alive.
Immediately decide to help him.
No, they don't. They go, it's a lion, and run. It's just
and then Timon is just like, maybe he can... Pumbaa's just like, maybe we can help him. No, that's stupid. Maybe he can help us, though.
At least Pumbaa immediately decides to help him. Timon immediately decides to be the two-faced, opportunistic dick bastard that he is.
Jeez, it's a lion!
Yes.
Run!
He's small, so he has to depend on other things to protect him. This is a huge predator. He's used to getting hunted, so he's just like, this ain't nothing here for me.
Nala was trying to hunt Pumbaa. They know what a lion's gonna do.
Pumbaa, move! But he's so little. He's gonna get bigger. Maybe he'll be on our side. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Maybe he'll be... Hey, I've got it. What if he's on our side? You know, having a lion around might not be such a bad idea.
This part in particular is one part of the original review that people really want to know if I've changed my view on. And the answer is, sort of. I have changed my mind on one part of this duo. Pumbaa's alright. He has a good heart, and he actually is the reason that Simba is alive and well. Timon would just as soon have left him for dead.
Lest he get eaten because he's a little meerkat.
Yes. But then what happens when Nala comes to try to eat Pumbaa? He tries to save him. Timon tries to save Pumbaa. Even when Nala's about to pounce, he doesn't run. So there's something to be said about that.
And in fairness, some of that can be forgiven. I mean, Timon actually does have a point. Simba is one of their natural predators.
Okay.
But the film just goes out of its way to remind you that the only reason Timon agreed to help this kid is so that he could use him. And it also goes out of its way to remind you that Timon really doesn't seem to care about him.
What'd you do, kid?
Something
Pause.
terrible.
That is a lie. Because at the end, where they go, Timon and Pumbaa, why are you guys here? Timon just goes, if it's important to you, it's important to us, and we're here.
Even before that, when it's just like, oh, I can see what's going here. Our trio is about to become a duo. And he was super sad about it. He doesn't care about him right now because it's a lion that he don't know. But then he learns to like him.
But I don't want to talk about it.
Good, we don't want to hear about it. See, I told you he'd come in handy. When the world turns its back on you, you turn your back on the world.
That's some heartwarming stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Pause, no!
It's antithetical to what his father told him.
This is directly after Simba goes, can you turn back the time? Can you go back in time?
Change the past.
Change the past. What was the exact line? I still have that thing.
No, not unless you can change the past.
Not unless you can change the past. You know, kids, in times like this, my buddy Timon said, you gotta put your jokes. Lie down before you hurt yourself. You gotta put your past behind you. Look, kids, bad things happen and you can't do anything about it, right? And Simba goes, right. And he goes, no, wrong. Turn your back on the world. Which again, like you said, antithetical to what his father said.
Even Simba goes, that's not what I was told.
So this is a bad influence on them. This is, again, you can't start after this point because he's going, forget about your past.
Even with he was talking about what's the point of the first act. The first act taught Simba something in the way of Mufasa and responsibility. And then in this act, Simba gets everything he wants. He lives carefree. He can do whatever he wants. Which is what he always wanted when he was going to become king. And he learns that the life is not worth it because the responsibility and the people getting hurt back home from it. So he has the teachings of what his father taught him. The teachings of Timon and Pumbaa. Timon and Pumbaa's teachings are the thing he always wanted, which was freedom and to go wherever he wants. And he learns that that's not good.
That ain't the way to do it.
That's not the way he should be going about his life. Especially if people are getting hurt specifically because he's not there.
He has responsibilities that he needs to take care of.
So he turns around and he does his father's teachings.
Timon is simply one of the most poorly conceived characters I have ever witnessed on film.
Timon is awesome.
We need a distraction.
What am I supposed to do? Dress and drag and do a luau?
Wow, if you're hungry for a fat Jewish meat. And he does it. He does the distraction. You're just forgetting about all that. Yes, he's a beach bum. Forget about your past, all that stuff. We know about, in Pumbaa's past, we don't really know about Timon's past. I think we got a little bit in the actual TV show.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know exactly where he comes from at this point. He's just very opportunistic. It's a bad thing for him to be, absolutely.
I wouldn't even say that because there's a predator around every corner for him.
But this isn't Timon and Pumbaa are right. No, Timon and Pumbaa are wrong. They're the devil on the shoulder.
What would Meek do?
It's like they're trying to make him the self-serving louse character who also has a heart of gold, except they forgot to add the heart of gold part.
Hey, if it's important to you, Simba, it's important to us.
Tried to save Pumbaa. Tried to push his butt of all things, and we know that Pumbaa's butt can knock people out. Stayed there as he's being about to be pounced.
All we see from this character is selfishness.
That is a lie.
Oh, dude, this is why were they even there with Simba? Legitimately, why were they there? Why did he do the distraction?
Selfish.
When Simba is a child, when he's an adult, and even when Simba finds quote-unquote...
That's just a callback joke. See, I told you he'd come in handy.
Love. Hell, Pumbaa was actually happy when Simba found Nala, and it was Timon who changed the tune to how this was going to affect him. Even though...
Their group.
Yes.
They're about to lose their friend, he believes.
They've been there for years, and he's losing the friend to just somebody who just rocks up.
Even the voice of this character was just all wrong. I mean, Nathan Lane is a good voice actor.
It was great.
No, dude, I don't know what the...
You said that he was sniveling and conniving, so he's got a little nasally voice. What did you want?
Wrong, but it just adds to the problem of accepting this character as anything good. I mean, the character just sounds like some creep that you'd meet at a Greyhound station or something.
But doesn't Pumbaa as well?
Hey, kid, you want to buy a watch?
That doesn't look like a watch to me.
Oh, come on. Hakuna Matata, friend.
I think I hear my mom calling.
Buy some cocaine, you little shit.
Now, to be fair, they do throw in some... That was an actual picture of me when I was little, by the way. I mean, look at that handsome little devil. I gotta apologize for this, though. That was just horrifying. Like I said, they throw in some lines and conflicts to where you can infer that Timon cares about Simba. I suppose the fact that he feels like Nala was causing him to lose his friend does imply that he thinks of Simba as a friend, but even accepting that stretch, he's even selfish with his friends. And don't even get me started on Hakuna Matata. I actually do, because it's something I'd like to go into more depth on. Here is another question for you all. What is the moral of this story? To take responsibility and not to run from your past, right? Mm-hmm. Now here is another question. What is the antithesis of that moral?
Hakuna Matata.
Does he not understand filmmaking? He talked about where's the conflict. The conflict is, hey Simba, no responsibility. Don't worry about it.
And it's, don't worry about it.
I guess I gotta worry about it.
The conflict is him going, nah, I don't want responsibilities, but it's being thrust upon me. It's a happy, jovial song, absolutely. But they just go, Nala, Timon goes, Simba just goes, Hakuna Matata. She goes, what? Don't worry about it. He goes, no, you gotta worry about it. We can't do that. This is not a good thing.
What a wonderful phrase.
I mean, I just don't get it.
You truly don't. It's running antithetical to the theme of responsibility. And it teaches Simba a lesson that this is not what you should be doing.
Nala goes, everything is destroyed. There's no food, no water. Simba, if you don't do anything, everybody's going to starve. I can't go back. Why? You wouldn't understand. What wouldn't I understand? No, it doesn't matter. Hakuna Matata. What? Hakuna Matata. It's just something I learned out here. Look, sometimes bad things happen, Simba, and there's nothing you can do about it. So why worry? Because it's your responsibility. right there. Why worry about it? Because it's your responsibility. Nala shuts down that Hakuna Matata bush.
Which is bush, and the story is telling you it's bush.
Even Timon and Pumbaa go back on it because their carefree life is just like, our friend needs help. So we're gonna go defeat the king of the lions and a bunch of hyenas.
Statement, and this song could not be more antithetical to what you're supposed to take away from the film.
Yes!
Yes!
Oh my God! Is he the type of person that believes that every scene should
foster the theme?
Should bolster it. Should tie directly into it.
There shouldn't be anything that's just like, hey, nah, don't do that. Because,
like, if classism is a theme, should we just look at the antithetical nature of classism, where everyone is just like an equal in terms of, like, we should not be seeing scenes of that when talking about classism. When talking about racism, we shouldn't have families of different races coming together for like a dinner or something. Running antithetical to how terrible racism is.
Oh my goodness.
And you can say, if the theme is racism, then a family coming together of different races does tie into racism. But if the theme is responsibility, not doing your responsibility and not worrying about anything also ties into the theme of responsibility. How does this man not understand this?
And yet it's a catchphrase and moral that people usually remember more than they remember the film's moral itself.
Pause. What evidence do you have of that? Don't just say that people do this.
People use it because it's a cool phrase.
Yeah,
and it's a great song.
Why? Why would you...
Hey, responsibility. Is that what you're supposed to be talking about with Lion King? Or are you going to go, hey, Hakuna Matata?
Hey, Hakuna Matata. Hey, fun characters. Awesome animation.
But no. Responsibility. Like, when people talk about Frozen... Don't they talk about Let It Go and Olaf and all that bush? I mean, I can't say that for Coco because I think about too much from Coco.
He's just people don't care. Should I care about the theme? Not many people.
When discussing it like outwardly in a casual setting. Like, what did you think about Lion King? Oh, the theme
of responsibility. Who really talks like that?
It's fine in a analysis sense where you're trying to do a review or something. I can understand.
But in a casual sense, it's like, because Coco, again, we talk about Coco. Love the movie. Fantastic. What's the theme?
Family, I guess.
Family, I guess. More responsibilities. Don't go back on the things that you like because other people anti-peer pressure. I don't know. I don't care.
Follow your dreams regardless of consequences.
I don't think that's very smart to have a theme.
Yeah, I guess the central thing would be family. That's the only thing I could think of. Dude, El Poco Loco. I don't know why, but just a little spin and
it's
head
always
nod.
great. It's always great.
It's just
no matter what I'm doing, if I'm watching that, I will always look up at that part because it's so good.
It's just and just a little nod from Miguel. Yeah, I love Coco.
Give the main character a bad moral philosophy, one that...
A different moral philosophy and one that he wanted as a child from the first act that he learns is a bad moral responsibility. What? Yeah, I'm done. I'm done explaining it. I'm not going to pause anymore on this point. You're going to have to.
He carries with him for years and then never have the movie correct that false moral.
Nala literally did. That's the last time Hakuna Matata is said in the film when it is challenged and knocked down. I literally read it.
It makes no sense. Hakuna Matata is the reason Simba never went back and dealt with any of this. Ergo, Timon and Pumbaa are actually kind of responsible for the fact that Simba never went back and rescued these...
No, he would be dead if not for the two of them. They said, where are you going after they woke him up? He goes, nowhere. So he'd have just kept walking till he died.
People. Granted, I don't know what would have happened if they hadn't taught him this. Maybe Simba would have wised up on his own and returned to Pride Rock. Maybe he would have gotten eaten to death by vultures. But one thing I am sure of, Simba would have had a much better chance of learning to take responsibility if his own parental figures hadn't taught him not to. And again, even giving every possible benefit of the doubt, even assuming the opposing view is correct, that these two taught him Hakuna Matata just to make him feel better and to help him not feel so down, that they don't know that he was a king who ran away and so are not somehow responsible for Simba never going back and taking responsibility for this, fine. But the fact still remains that the one thing they ever taught Simba in his life was the wrong thing. And even after it's revealed that their advice may have led to Simba never trying to save his kingdom, that advice never gets corrected. We never have words between Simba and Timon explaining that maybe he was wrong or at least going overboard with what he taught him.
Pause. So he's supposed to have this conversation with Timon? As opposed to somebody having a conversation with him, the
and
main
him
character,
learning it,
the responsibility he needs. Because Timon has no responsibilities outside of trying to stay alive.
And then once he goes to take care of somebody else's responsibilities because they're their friends. So even he's just like, yo, sometimes Hakuna Matata can be broken for friendship.
It's okay to give yourself a break and relax every once in a while, but you also need to do what you have to do.
What does Timon and Pumbaa have to do?
The movie shows this.
But Simba has to do something.
No, Nala had to tell him that. It's like the...
Why would Simba tell Timon? Why would Timon tell Simba?
After he learns, after the Hakuna Matata is broken, he goes off, meets Rafiki, and then runs back to Pride Rock. By the time that he sees Timon and Pumbaa again, it's already mission time. So there is no, hey Timon, the theme of responsibility, you see.
Have a good idea here, but they only remembered to include half of it. They made Simba feel responsible for his father's death, but forgot to explain why. They
did explain why.
You
admitted that they explained why. You acknowledge. Okay, this is just him copy and pasting from the first script and not realizing that he accepted the fact that a grieving child can misconstrue the situation.
Got to be.
Why? They made Timon a louse with a heart of gold and forgot to add the heart of gold.
I guess you just didn't watch the movie at that point.
When he tried to save Pumbaa, and when he was like, it's important to you, Simba, so we will put ourselves in danger for this piece of land that we don't give a about.
And then he puts himself in danger with the luau. 3 scenes, separate scenes.
When I think of a louse character that has a good heart underneath, I think of Baloo in The Jungle Book. Bare Necessities was a song that was actually very similar in theme to Hakuna Matata, and Baloo had a similar role to Mowgli as Timon did to Simba. He took him under his wing and tried to raise him. But Baloo's more selfish and lazy qualities were balanced out by Bagheera's sensible, down-to-earth qualities.
So, it was forgivable because somebody else said that. Like Nala,
I guess.
And after making a lot of irresponsible mistakes with Mowgli, Baloo actually learns to be more responsible in the end.
Like when Timon goes and helps Simba take back Pride Rock.
I don't know if he forgot or he's just intentionally leaving that out. Or he's going to go to it later and be like, this is why it doesn't make sense because there wasn't a conversation or something. I don't know what the point is, but it's so disingenuous to just not bring that up when it's so important.
Learns to have a bit more moderation in his life. Timon learns none of that.
Why would he? What in his life leads it to need more responsibility or moderation? What responsibility does Timon and Pumbaa have? Now in the second movie they do, and they do their responsibilities.
You remember the second movie?
I watched it right after the first one.
Oh, goodness gracious. He lives in you, and you're in
Awful.
What?
Awful.
What?
I don't like On the Nose. I'm sorry.
That song is great.
I don't like On the Nose.
Now, he is not one of us. That is too on the nose. I love that song, but that is too on the nose.
Yeah, I found I hated so much of Ruby songs just because of you're fighting for your friend. Just like, mother, come on, dude.
No, I can see that. I love Neos.
Sure.
That's great. That's great stuff. I had one thing and you've taken it from me. Come on! What are you doing?
This isn't like I think the song is
He
bad.
lives in you, and you in me.
Again, not saying the song is bad.
You's a
I'm
bum.
saying I can't like it because it's way too on the nose for me.
Big bum mode.
I know he lives in them. Thanks, Paul.
Especially since Rafiki said it in this movie. He said it. I was like in the second. Ooh.
I don't need a song to just go, hey, guy watching in the audience, do you know that?
He lives in you. Yeah, no, Yeah, no.
I don't care if it's a bar or something, but don't make it like the song.
How is the second movie? I forget about it a lot.
Yeah.
All right. That's a lot of the Disney sequels.
I like the kids. End of review.
All right.
I think Simba's a little shitty in it. Because it's like, you changed those other lions out. But for what? Like, the kid can't come back? What's he? It's a kid. He ain't got shit to do.
Nah, he looks like Scar. Racism.
Alright, cool.
No counterbalance. His only side character is Pumbaa, who is really too stupid to teach anyone anything, and Timon actually spends most of his time countermanding.
No, but Timon also respects a lot of Pumbaa, and it's done a lot non-verbally. There's a scene, like, right as they're saving Simba, Timon makes a joke, and he looks at Pumbaa and Simba, and they're both frowning at him, and he just goes, and just sort of shakes it off and moves on with that joke. He respects Pumbaa. Don't act like he doesn't.
Like how you hurt yourself before you hurt yourself. That's such a good line. Lie down before you hurt yourself.
What's the motto? Nothing. What's the matter with you?
Whatever Pumbaa has to say. The Lion King...
With that exact scene just on screen. What's the motto?
Whatever Pumbaa has to say. The Lion King 1.5 actually did a better job of balancing Timon's character out than this movie did.
Pause, because they had a lot more time to do so, because you see a lot of the in-between moments. This is a short little snippet of this is who this character is, this is what he's teaching them, as opposed to an entire 1 hour and 30-minute movie where they're narrating it and just going, nah, that ain't what happened, this is what happened, and this is what I was thinking, and this is what this means and stuff.
I've never seen 1.5. It's a good movie.
I like it. I haven't seen
that
it in a
was
while.
A question mark.
No, because I remember I haven't seen it in a while. I'm like, do I like it?
Dude, there's so many movies I need to revisit just to be like, was it ever what I thought?
Yeah, but a lot of them.
I don't know if I can ever do Good Burger though. I just want that in my heart to be
pure.
Good. But there's so many minuscule things in it that I'm thinking back like, nah, that was good.
Yeah, but you remember the good stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the stuff I don't remember was mostly just going to be kind of middling. I don't know.
There were scenes in that silly movie that had this whole other side to this character shine through.
An hour and a half to do so. In a movie that he legitimately co-stars in. As opposed to a side character in the grand scheme of things.
Yes. Big difference.
In fact, if you edited some of these scenes into this movie, it would just...
The scenes from the movie that came out a year and a half to 2.5 years later?
That added a lot more context. Of course it's going to add a lot more context and heart to these in-between moments.
Fix everything for me. Unfortunately, whatever that movie would have been is not what we ended up with here. They put in Hakuna Matata, but forgot to drive home the point that Hakuna Matata may be alright in some situations, but not in all of them. Yes, don't worry, be happy, but maybe there's a time where you actually do need to take responsibility.
The movie literally showed.
Did he just wanted Timon and Simba to have a conversation of this exact thing as opposed to the movie showing us this thing? He legitimately wanted tell, not show.
Which, by the way, is the entire point of the film. No matter how many ways you slice it and no matter how much benefit of the doubt is given, this is just sloppy writing. So back at Pride Rock, Scar is kind of laying around, not much happening. Oh, except for the fact that he's being pestered by the hyenas for food.
We got a bone to pick with you. I'll handle it.
It also shows that he kept Zazu alive. Why? Could be interpreted as he respects his role as the king's heir. Could be an emergency food source.
Could cause the other lions to go against him if he just outright kills Zazu.
Could like their report. Could just want the entertainment with the singing and stuff. But he does.
Scar, there's no food, no water. Yeah, it's dinner time, and we ain't got no stinking entrees.
It's the lioness's job to do the hunting.
You know, this whole being...
He's such a drama queen! Oh my goodness! I can't be bothered.
King thing seems like it's just one big pain in the ass for Scar. Everyone's asking him for things, nobody's happy.
Pause.
Scar...
It's almost like he didn't understand the responsibilities that came with being a king.
He just wanted the power. He wanted the title.
Oh, man, maybe that ties into the theme. He did it wrong. Simba doing it right. He wasn't taught right.
Has to be starving himself. It almost begs the question of why he wants this place anymore.
It's the status. It's the power. This is Pride Rock. I'm not moving. Mufasa was king for such and such amount of time and he made it work. I'ma make it work. Mufasa would have, don't you say his name is outlawed.
In my presence.
Keep that in the back of your mind as we go along. So anyway, back at Fuck It Lagoon, Simba, Pumbaa, and Asshole are hanging out and swapping stories about what they think the stars are. I got on their case the last time for basically laughing in Simba's face over what he thinks they are, but as I look at the scene now, I don't know, you be the judge.
Somebody once told me that the great kings of the past are up there, watching over us.
You mean a bunch of royal dead guys are watching us? Who told you something like that?
Yeah.
What mook made that up?
Yeah, pretty dumb, huh?
I mean, he was kind of laughing with them and giving them the impression that this was a silly idea, that it was okay.
No, because you have to look at it from their perspective. What do they know of royalty? What does it matter to them? What is it to a bunch of lions in the sky? Is it a bunch of like ant kings as well? It's a stupid thing to think about. And this dude just comes out of this from nowhere, and if you listen to Simba's dialogue, he says somebody told me. He can't even say that his dad said. He couldn't say the king said. He's just somebody. He's so grief-stricken that he can't even just mention him off name. And then they're basically laughing at what his father said, and he can't take it.
He's just like, that's
funny.
That's ridiculous.
It's like when you getting capped on and you just until it starts getting too much, and you're just like, all right, y'all, come on. And you either remove yourself from the situation or you point the gun to somebody else.
Oh yeah, you gotta. Yo, I know you ain't laughing.
Yeah.
okay to laugh at, so I don't know, it wasn't really as bad as I was making it out the first time. Whatever, I suck. Speaking of fuck me, I also complained about Rafiki knowing that Simba was alive, where he was, and how to get there simply by looking at a turtle shell, but I don't really know where all that was coming from either. That's pretty par for the course in an animated story like this. I mean, Gaston...
He smelled it on the wind and followed the scent.
Sure seemed to know everything there was to know about the beast, where the castle was, and how to get there just by looking in a mirror for a few seconds. So really, this is no big deal. I completely deny...
I don't know why I laughed when he broke the fruit, and I thought he was gonna pour it and he just drank it. He was like, oh, Simba's alive.
Oh, shit.
That all I do is nitpick on the show, but those really were just nitpicks on my part. So anyway, we're then introduced to Nala, and by the
I can see how you can have a problem with it. Just because something else does a similar thing doesn't mean that it's not an issue.
Yeah.
You can have an issue with it and accept the fact that it happens other places. Yep. Two bad things can exist. It's not okay because something else simply does it. It's not okay that it do it. It's not okay that just an animated series does it. I'll just be like, he's a magic man. He did some goopity goop stuff and he found him. I accept that thing.
Magic of nothing, these two fall in love. I really don't have much else to say about this one. Nala is a blank character, and their relationship is superficial at best.
They were best friends as children. They keep that friendly banter. He vines into the pool and then pushes her in. They have a lot of fun together. They were already betrothed. They didn't like that.
They've always liked each other, just not romantically, and now it's turning romantic. How is childhood friends dating later in life is something that happens all the time in both media and IRL.
And Nala, blank slate of a character, she's very headstrong. She accepts the responsibility. She knows what's right and wrong. When she goes, Simba just start to sound like my father. He's like, one of us should.
At least one of us is.
She's very snippy. Also got a playful side. She recognizes once Timon and Pumbaa are just like, these aren't food. Pleased to meet you. Pleasure's all mine.
Courteous.
Polite. To Simba's friends.
It's a love story that isn't particularly...
It's not the monkey!
I don't know why.
It's his uncle. The monkey's his uncle?
A love story that isn't particularly loving, nor is it that much of a story.
Maybe because it's not a love story.
It's a montage to show that their feelings are turning romantic as opposed to just friendly.
Shows up and boom. Some have commented, however, that this is helped by Can You Feel the Love Tonight? That the job of a good soundtrack is to sometimes make you believe in something even when it's not all that believable by
Look
itself.
Look at these long stairs.
And I'll grant you that. It's a very good song that does bolster the scene at the very least. But other than that, this relationship is absolutely nothing to speak of. And I actually haven't heard too many defenses of the Simba-Nala relationship. The only thing I have heard over and over again is that these two supposedly have chemistry and fall in love because they grew up together. Which is untrue. These two did not grow up together. They were just kids together. They grew up...
So baby to this age is not growing up together?
Let's just say 2 years.
Do you need to grow up every single second of your life next to a person to grow up with them?
If kids grew up from age 0 to 7 or 8 together, then one moves away and then they meet up again when they're 15. Do you believe that they can't rekindle their friendship and that friendship can turn romantic? Do you believe that's an impossible thing?
I mean, if
then one of the first things that they say to each other is, I've missed you. So he was thinking about her, even though all responsibility, all past, all that stuff, still missing her.
And she thought he was dead.
ran into little Sarah Conway that I knew in first grade today, I'd be like, who are you? Who are you?
It's not first grade, dude. They're sentient, understanding, remembering lions.
They've missed each other. That's the part that you're missing.
You
don't miss little Sarah or whatever.
It would be like 4th or 5th grade for us. And then meeting up again in like 9th or 10th grade.
You have full knowledge of them. You know that their habits and stuff.
Yeah, like in first grade, what do you remember about almost anything? Like some of my earliest memories are when I was like 6 or 7, but they're like flash in the pan memories. I can remember my childhood friends from when I was 10 or 11. Donald and Robert and Jane, and I remember all these people. Pierre. I remember Pierre winning an N64 out of a Pops cereal.
I like that he recognizes he doesn't know what he's talking about, but he left it in.
Anyway, so Nala has some words to Simba about how he needs to go back and help everyone whose lives were destroyed after Scar won. And to reinforce this, she tells him one thing that actually exemplifies what the point of this conflict is.
Hakuna Matata. It's something I learned out here. Look, sometimes bad things happen.
Simba.
And there's nothing you can do about it. So why worry?
Because it's your responsibility.
Exactly. See, now if Timon were somehow a part of this conversation and actually learned something from Nala's words, maybe we'd have... Alright, I feel like I'm repeating myself again.
Pause! Okay, so the theme comes back into play, but
main
Timon
character
is not in there, so it's an issue? Can you not see that Timon is seeing that Simba is recognizing his responsibility and accepting that? Timon will also go, okay, responsibility is cool. This isn't a Timon story.
I guess he should have just been on one of their heads, like giving play-by-play commentary as well. Nah, that's bush, Nala. No worries, kiddo. No, shut up, Timon. There needs to be response. I guess this is just what it should have been.
Is accusing me of doing that in my reviews, but I don't think I repeat myself. I really don't think I repeat. I don't think I do. I don't think I do that. I don't think But unfortunately, Nala's words aren't enough to bring Simba around, so the mystic monkey tries taking a stab at it. We get a lot of generalized platitudes and fortune cookie advice from this guy, and then a scene that's just awesome as far as the atmosphere goes. I'm serious. Check this out.
I don't like him narrowing things. Why are you reviewing something if you just narrow things down to generalized platitude and fortune cookie nonsense? If you're not going to talk about them, it's enough to insult them, but not enough to explain why it's bad. I don't like that.
And I'll show him to you. You follow old Rafiki. He knows the way. Come on. Don't dawdle. Hurry up!
I mean, seriously, I didn't even care where they're going. I didn't even care what they're gonna find when they get there. This scene is just riveting in itself. I mean, man, this is a good soundtrack. But then Simba...
What's riveting about it? Just the soundtrack? Explain yourself 7 years after the fact. Did you look at your script from 7 years ago, presuming that this was in the script, and go, yes, I've explained myself accurately by saying and showing that this is riveting?
Did you go to the old video and watch it and go, I think I explained myself quite well here. I'm just going to do it again.
Spot gets the lesson that his father is alive inside of him, and then we get the thing. The thing that turns this movie from just being a problematic film with character problems, false conflicts, and a confused moral message to just being downright broken. Mufasa appears to Simba in the sky, and here is what he says to him.
Simba, you have forgotten me.
No. How could I?
You have forgotten who you are, so forgotten me. You must take your place in the circle of life.
How can I go back? I'm not who I used to be.
Remember who you are. You are my son, and the one true king.
See, this is why the first act of the film was so completely pointless. Those words just don't mean anything in the context of what we've seen. Remember who you are?
You are my son and the one true king!
Is that supposed to be referring to?
His son and the one true king!
Let me give you an example.
You said that the story of responsibility was closed out in the first half, so what does it have to do with the second half? You said this. So he learned the lesson about responsibility according to you in the first half. So that's who he is, the responsible son of the king. Easy!
What my problem is here. Now, please, don't take this to mean that I'm arguing that the following film is somehow better than The Lion King. I'm not making any comparisons of quality here. This is just an example. The Lorax, I can feel you accusing me of calling this movie better, now just stop it! The Lorax, the crappy film version anyway, is the story of the Onceler trying to sell his thneed, but in doing so he cuts down a truffula tree which his friends protest. So he vows never to cut down the trees again, and to do all of this honestly. Eventually his thneed is a hit, and his nefarious family comes to take over the operation, eventually convincing him that they need to cut down the trees in order to increase production. To which the Onceler responds,
I guess it couldn't hurt to chop down a few trees.
But after cutting down those few trees, the exceptions turn into the rule, and we see the Onceler transform from a good, honest man to one consumed with greed, giving no thought to the promises he breaks or the lives he destroys. And finally, the Lorax comes to confront him on this, and we have this exchange.
I need you to get out, now. Why? Do I make you uncomfortable? Remind you the promises you made? The man you used to be?
See, when the Lorax mentions the man he used to be, we have something to compare that to, because for the first half of this film,
Mufasa did not say, Simba, remember who you used to be. He said, remember who you are.
The lineage that you hold.
The king and my son. Not your personality, what you are, what you entail.
Not the first half of the movie.
This dude is goofy.
We saw the good-natured, kind of goofy, but still good-hearted man that the Onceler was. And that stands in total contrast to who he is now, so this statement makes total sense. But the person we knew Simba to be before he
did not say who you used to be.
Who you are.
Remember, you've forgotten who you are, so you've forgotten me. Remember who you are. My son and the one true king. Not the rambunctious little scamp. Not the asshole.
Crap.
My son, the king.
Misconstruing one little thing just breaks his entire argument down. Because he's arguing against remember who you were, not who you are.
Kingdom is when he was a little kid. So when Mufasa says, remember who you are, all we have as a reference is when Simba was a little kid.
You are not used to be, which is I remind you of who you used to be versus remember who you are.
And again, he already said the theme of responsibility was closed out in the first half. So now he has that first act. So now he has the mindset of responsibility.
Did it sound like something fell?
A little bit.
Yeah, okay.
But he has that mindset of responsibility.
My reflexes are terrible because when something falls, I reflexively stick my foot out to break the fall. And there have been times there's been knives, super heavy things, and I'm just
the knives are the problem.
Why did you do that? It's just pure reflex.
Well, no. That could have turned out very poorly.
Getting into trouble and wanting to have everything his way. Is that what he's supposed to remember?
No, son, true king. He says it in the next sentence. You played the clip. This is buffoonery.
Huh? I really think this movie would have benefited from starting later in this character's life. Simba should have been introduced as a young adult. Maybe a little...
What crazy mother? Did you see that?
Did you see that? Oh, look at that. Did you make up your mind? Oh, Rafiki is that dude.
Prideful, but someone who also wanted to rule the kingdom well and do right by his father. A character of nobility.
You just want a whole different character.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. He didn't like Kid Simba being a little brat.
And justice who would lead Pride Rock into a golden age. If that had been the case, then Remember Who You Are would have yielded immediate context and meaning for us. That is who Simba lost, and that's who he needs to find again. Not a rambunctious little kid, someone who was on the fast track to being a great king, but who no longer believes in himself. That would have tied the first act perfectly into acts 2 and 3, and it honestly would have been pretty fulfilling. But making the first act about something totally unrelated to the central conflict we have here absolutely removes any relevance to this scene at all.
Remember who you are, my son and the true king?
The scene is just so stupid. I mean, Ghost Mufasa gives Simba the same fortune cookie wisdom and platitudes that the monkey gave him. And call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure there was something far, far more relevant that he could have told him here.
Do you think that's really Mufasa? Or a projection of Mufasa based on Simba and potentially Rafiki? Do you think he is communicating with
literal
his dead father?
Giving information and stuff like that.
Remember who you are. Oh, and also, you didn't have anything to do with my death. Scar had me over a cliff and was all like, "Long live the king," and he threw me off. You didn't start the stampede. You certainly didn't throw me off a cliff. So basically, you've been hanging out with these two assholes your whole life for no reason.
He doesn't know that he didn't start the stampede.
That's why Mufasa cannot tell him, because it's likely a projection and not him communicating with his dead father.
Go be the king, I guess. Yeah, I probably should have opened with this information rather than that far less useful statement, "Remember who you are." You didn't do anything. That's what I should have said. You didn't do anything. Sorry, I've been dead for a while. It affects my brain from...
So...
This is going on for a long
time.
Yes,
but if he opens up with, as you said, this is a joke. I understand it's a joke, but we can critique jokes. You didn't do anything. Simba's going to think, dang, I haven't done anything for the past 5 years. Not you didn't do anything to cause my death. You need to word that better.
Sometimes. Alright, I gotta bounce. Peace.
But instead, he leaves Simba to run off armed with nothing but doubt over something Mufasa could have cleared up for him on the spot. And
he really thinks that that's Mufasa.
He really thinks he spoke to his dad.
He really think Mufasa just came out from heaven, was just like, "Hey, yo, I got to spit some wisdom real quick." That's not what happened.
All of his supposed friends come to help.
Well, Simba, if it's important to you, we're with you to the end.
Huh. I guess you saying that at the last minute makes it true, huh?
He's there! He's doing it!
He puts himself in harm's way! What more can you do to show it? You say it, you do it!
You do the thing! We're with you to the end! They were like, "Oh, it's getting hairy, let's run!"
Put yourself in harm's way! You got it!
I mean, come on, movie, please. You've been giving me nothing but problems from the start. Please, just do something I like.
What do you want me to do?
Pause, you already said that you like the animation, the voice acting, the music. You said this. Don't be hyperbolic.
You love that scene of Simba running through all the dead trees.
Dress and drag and do the hula? Wow! If you're hungry for a hunk of fat and juicy meat, eat my buddy over here because he has a treat. Coming down a dime on a spacey swine, all you have to do is get in line. Ah, yeah,
Yup.
oh, some bacon. Yup. He's a big pig. Yup. You can be a big pig too.
You can be a big pig too.
Okay.
He's a big pig.
Yep.
You can be a big pig too. Ah, that's money.
That was good. I'll give him that. That was funny. So Simba makes it to the main rock.
Fake laughter, like this is a surprise thing. You've seen this movie. You said that you watched this movie a lot. Don't act like this is an on-the-spot review that you didn't know what was coming up. I don't like that in reviews. I do not like it.
The laughter of a quote-unquote funny moment. Like
they didn't expect
scripted.
it.
Like the script doesn't just read laugh here.
Like you're watching it as we're watching it, and this is happening.
Like you're
like, oh, this is
reviewing
surprising.
off the cuff, and it's just like, oh, the funny moment came.
I hate that.
Is abusing women in front of everyone, and yet no one makes an attempt to help.
What is that?
He is not in front of everybody. I think he might have been in front of a couple lions. I just remember her walking up, and
there were a few lionesses there, but there's like 70 hyenas.
The hyenas are the issue. Plus, he's also the king.
Steps up, is mistaken for Mufasa for a bit, and then everyone realizes it's him. Now, I don't know about you, but I have never, and I mean never, seen a jig that was more up than the jig is up right here. I mean, that's it. Scar's lies are exposed. Simba is alive.
Pause. Simba and Mufasa are dead. I assumed he was dead because I couldn't find the body. He didn't show up for 5 years. What was I supposed to... The daddy dead. He went to go save the son. I can't find the son. I'm assuming he's dead until further notice. The jig is not up. He can smooth that right over.
Which he did. When he said, I thought you were dead. And he looked up at the hyenas. And then they start talking about you.
He told these people about Simba being killed in a stampede is now seen to be a deceit.
It's not a deceit. He couldn't find a body. Nobody could find a body.
Simple.
So he went down there to save Simba, which Zazu can cooperate. Simba's not there. Mufasa's dead.
Right there. Do we see Simba here? He knows where we live.
He knows how to get back. He ain't come back. I assume he's dead.
I didn't even know where the hell they were planning on going with this after that. There's no need for heroes versus villains here. No need for any more plan thwarting.
Pause. You didn't know where they were going with this, or you're traveling back in time to your 10-year-old mind and trying to figure out if what you knew back then? I don't know what the point of that sentence is.
It's done. Simba's alive. Everyone can see Scar's lies now.
No. His misinterpretation of the situation in believing that Simba was dead.
Yes. Hey, Scar, you said Simba was dead. I thought he was dead. His father's dead. What more? It's a sentence.
Now, Simba can go, you told me to leave.
That's where the issues come.
Of course not. Nobody holds Scar's feet to the fire. No one questions him about what actually happened that day.
Because he immediately just goes, Simba, didn't you cause it? Yes, I did. Then you're a murderer. And Simba goes, wait, no, not exactly.
He goes, gaslit everybody.
Yeah, and he's circling around and just like, you were there, right? Mufasa was there, so that makes you a murderer. He doesn't give him a chance to plead his case.
Well, you are here, so that makes you the king. However, ain't you kill your daddy?
And Simba straight up goes, yeah.
But it was an accident. What? I don't.
All right,
His mom's coming up like, please tell me it's not true. It's a murderer!
You's a murderer. Do you have a right to this throne? Murderer?
Maybe I do. You sure don't.
You haven't told them our little secret. Well, Simba, now's your chance to tell them. Tell them who's responsible for Mufasa's death. I am. Sarabi goes, that's not true. Tell me it's not true. Simba goes, it's true. You see? He admits it. He's a murderer. He admits it. Murderer! No, it was an accident. If it wasn't for you, Mufasa would still be alive. It's your fault he's dead. Do you deny it? No. Then you are guilty. He's not giving him a chance.
He gaslit everyone there.
Because he knows he can, because he knows he's smart, and he got the facts on his side. He's telling them, yes, that's what happened. He's not giving them a chance. They just go, wait a second. No, he's going, do you deny these facts? He goes, no, I don't deny it. Okay, then. You're a murderer. What?
Back and let him talk. And when he spews even more transparent lies that don't make any sense, they're...
Like what?
Like what? Explain them and explain their lies and explain how they don't make sense.
They're still freaking
Nope. Oh, they just walked up, so they weren't there.
Yeah, I knew they wouldn't.
Okay, then.
Buying this.
Yeah, Nala went to go get him. I forgot. Because Simba goes, Nala go get the lionesses.
Tell them who is responsible for Mufasa's death.
I am.
It's not true. Tell me it's not true.
It's true.
You see, he admits it. Murderer. If it weren't for you...
Scar's so good. He's so good. Murderer. Lightning clapping like that's evil. He's clearly evil.
If it weren't for you, Mufasa would still be alive. It's your fault he's dead. Do you deny it?
No.
Then you're guilty.
Boy, oh boy, with that specific and airtight logic, it's no wonder nobody is calling him out or questioning him on any of this.
The guy I'm saying killed him is admitting that he killed him. Scar, you're lying. How do you think that should have went? He admits it.
He admitted it.
He's literally admitting it to you right now.
But he's saying that it's an accident.
So...
Hey, morons! Fucking morons! He told you specifically that both Mufasa and Simba were dead. Now he's telling you that Simba is alive and was responsible for Mufasa being dead in...
I thought you were dead. Can you pull up the script, please, so I can see
pull
what
up
he
the
said to the hyenas at the beginning? After Simba comes back, after he slaps up his mamas.
Simba. Oh, I'm a little surprised to see you. Looks up alive.
There you go. I'm surprised to see you alive.
Does this not raise a few questions? Like, maybe, I don't know, just a few?
You see, he admits it.
Did you do this thing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, I got some questions though there, Scar. Yes, what are they? I can't think of them.
Why'd you tell us that Simba was dead? Because I thought he was dead.
Yep. I saw him. And I couldn't.
But you told me to run. Yes, I did. I told you to run. You didn't hear me. I said to run, and then I'll smooth things over with the lionesses, and then you come back later. But you were so distraught you didn't listen.
Oh, you don't remember that quite well, Simba. You were distraught. Now, if you want to say that Simba should have said that Scar told him to leave, or why are you shocked I'm alive, Scar? You told me to run away. Then you could question.
Yes, that's a criticism that you can have, but you're not having that criticism.
It was an accident. If it weren't for you, Mufasa would still be alive.
Point. It was an accident. You say how? We saw how it was an accident. If you're doing the lionesses, they're asking how did it happen? Oh, Mufasa came down to rescue me and he died.
I roared. There was a stampede. Mufasa came down. He died trying to save me.
That's the how.
It's your fault he's dead.
But how though?
No.
Then you're guilty.
No, I'm not a murderer.
Did he bite him? But no.
Everyone knows he died through the stampede.
Zazu saw it.
Everyone just accepts everything Scar continues to lie about well past the time his lies have already...
Who has a person that he's accusing going, you're correct, Scar. Now, if Simba was fighting back, you could go, why aren't they questioning it more? But he's admitting to literally everything.
He's just going, it's an accident. And we can see that it was an accident because it was a huge stampede.
Already been exposed.
It has not been exposed, you goofy.
A part of the lie has been exposed. That
Simba's dead.
Simba's dead. and he ain't dead.
Because the film needs these people to be stupid so that it can continue to be on.
Sure.
And you know, the crappy thing is that for all of this film's faults, I actually kind of felt like I understood Scar as a person up to this point. He wanted power, he felt he was cheated out of it, and he took steps to claim what he believed was his by right. But now, I just don't understand him at all. He got power and it sucked. Everyone's always pestering him for things, there's no food or water, so what exactly is he even protecting anymore?
The status.
He don't give a shit about the Lions, he cares about his title.
And his inferiority complex to Mufasa.
Which is why he says, don't mention his name to me.
If I were Scar, I would have said, Simba, oh, thank God you're alive. This whole king thing was way more of a pain in the ass than I thought it was going to be. You want to be king? You can freaking have it.
Pause.
Then what happens with the hyenas? That tear Scar apart.
And he's also going, no, the food is out there, just go get it. Work harder. He's not going, it's not out there.
Dang, maybe we should leave.
No, he's going, I got this under control. I'm not leaving. We're not leaving.
Please, please take this stupid place off my hands for me. And I know that Scar wants to believe he's a great king. I know he wants to believe that he's a better king than his brother was. And when a lie that big grows in your heart, you'll do anything you can to defend it. Sure. But this is too much. Now he's trying to keep a hold on this place just because he's the villain, and that's what villains...
Pause. No, you just said what the reason was.
Unbelievable.
You said sure.
I understand, and sure, but...
But no. It's the trigger thing where he goes, I know the subs say this, but no.
Whenever we do our creator tier list, this guy's going high on there.
It's crazy.
One video is all it took?
So Simba is over a cliff and Scar finally tells him the truth due to him wanting Simba having some kind of ironic twist death because that's also what villains do.
Pause. No, he's gloating over this person. This is the same situation that Mufasa was in. He got him by the claws. All he has to do is release him. Nobody can hear him. He dies. So he just gloats, going, you thought you could come back here and take my How about you die the same way your daddy died?
Now,
I killed him, by the way.
What I don't get is how Simba got back up there.
Yes.
And especially with the force to knock Scar over.
Yes.
Like, that's ridiculous.
A little secret. I killed Mufasa.
Same close up on the eyes.
Murderer!
I don't get this. I just...
No, Simba, what are you talking about? No.
No, it's cool.
Don't get...
You better say it. I did it.
So
they can hear you, Scar. I killed him. Hey. I did. It was me. I love Scar with every fiber of my being. It's crazy how great he is.
Get this. I just don't get what the conflict and resolution of this movie is supposed to be anymore. Just please bear with me and try to follow me on this. Again, the central conflict in this movie is that Simba feels responsible for his father's death and learns that he needs to accept his mistakes and move forward with his life, correct? So if all Simba learns when he comes back is that he wasn't responsible for his father's death and doesn't need to accept and move on from anything, then what's the point of any of this? Part of the moral of this story was...
He still had to accept the responsibility to come back. That's it. He came back. That's the thing. He did the thing.
He's trying to move forward.
That was just like all that guilt that I had. It wasn't exactly my fault.
Supposed to be that even when bad things happen, you shouldn't run from them. Face it and take responsibility.
That's what he was doing. That's why he came back.
That's why he's here.
So what?
Even to the point where he goes, "You killed him, right?" And he goes, "Yes." Tell him our little secret. What happened to Mufasa? I killed him. He accepted that responsibility.
Told his mom right to her face.
What's the moral now? Even when bad things happen, you shouldn't run from it because maybe...
No, pause. The moral stands. Because it just doesn't stand for this exact moment. Not everything needs to stand for the moral.
Just maybe it will turn out you never had anything to run for in the first place.
No, he still came back. He wouldn't have even learned about this. He would have lived his life of free responsibility and always running from his past if he didn't do this. The moral is still there.
Because you were just being tricked? I'm sorry, this is a huge flaw in the very core of the film's moral. You can't have the moral be to face your problems, no matter how horrible they are, and then turn around and say that the problem was just a lie to begin with. You learn nothing.
The problem was still a problem. Yes, he did learn something. He learned to come back, to accept his responsibility. It's just that simple.
That it was all just a trick. And once again, there actually was a way to fix this. It would have been horrible, but there would have been a way. This is going to sound bad, but imagine if Mufasa didn't die in the stampede. Imagine if instead he died saving Simba from the hyenas. That would have hit this message home, because in that case, Simba really does have a hard truth that he's been running from his whole life, and he actually does have a very real part of his past that he needs to face. But this is just trickery being unmasked. There's nothing for Simba to face here.
He's already faced it. He's resolved it.
Yes. And now there's another conflict that doesn't have anything to do with the moral.
Foiled a plot a la yanking a mask off a Scooby-Doo villain. Who cares? The conflict was false to begin with. So after a bit of action, Simba and Scar have their final showdown. And for all that the ending is pretty much meaningless for almost all parties, we actually do have one moment that is quite poignant, where Simba uses Scar's own words against him in a very satisfying way.
Run. Run away, Scar. And never return.
Or go on, if you were thinking not the worst is yet to come. Why am I?
What is he doing?
What is he doing? This is not good.
Always packing up my stuff.
Okay, no.
Right for the neck. Right for the neck. And Mufasa does not go for the neck on Scar. He swipes him. But Scar does... I said Mufasa.
Yeah, Simba.
Simba does not go for the neck. Scar goes for it twice. He's going for the kill. He wants none of this.
No. Hold on. You just ruined it. What are you guys doing? Even if you believe that Scar fighting for this barren wasteland in the first place was understandable, even if you want to argue that he was defending his own delusional ego at that point, fine. But I think you would have to agree that this is just pushing the character too far into bullshit. He admitted in front of everyone that he killed Mufasa. He has an uprising on his hands. If Scar thought controlling...
He still has control of the hyenas. Or so he believes.
So he kills Simba, and then just goes, all right, now I've really killed him. I still have the hyenas, and I have the birthright for being king. So I am still king. I have the power.
Hey, hyenas, y'all needed some meat? Lion for dinner tonight, I guess.
Kingdom was hard before. It's just impossible now. What the hell is he fighting for at this point?
Ego. Pride.
He could also be looking at it like, Simba, I told him to run and I immediately went kill him. I could be killed the moment that I'm stepping foot out of this place. So he could be fighting for his very life. But also just the ego and pride stuff.
I mean, he could be killed by a lioness. He could be killed by the hyenas.
Giving us a satisfying action climax.
I don't think it was satisfying. I really didn't like how long that slow-mo went.
Yeah, the slow-mo went for way too long.
And just the notion that Scar would ever get into a physical altercation at all completely betrays what we know about this character.
He wouldn't fight Mufasa because he would get mauled. Simba's been living on bugs and he just threw hot rocks in his face.
And then bit his neck twice.
Let's not forget what he told Mufasa after his oh-so-subtle challenge.
Temper. I wouldn't dream of challenging you.
You?
The emphasis on you.
Is Mufasa Simba?
The emphasis on you was emphasized.
Why not? Well, as far as brains go, I got the lion's share, but when it comes to brute strength, I'm afraid I'm at the shallow end of the gene pool.
Aha, you see? The reaction to that line by the other characters may have been stupid, but the line was not. This line was very deliberately and very strategically placed in the film in order to answer what the writers knew the audience would be asking themselves. If Scar wants the kingdom so badly, why doesn't he just challenge Mufasa for it? Before the audience even has a chance to ask, they answered this. It's because Scar knows he doesn't have a chance in a physical fight. That's why
against Mufasa. He is comfortable enough to be surrounded by hyenas who could eat him at any moment.
Lionesses that he would probably lose to.
But it's Mufasa.
To use underhanded tactics in the first place. So why, I repeat, why would he ever start a fight that he knows...
After he threw hot rocks in his eyes.
And then went for the neck 2 times before Simba got a single strike in.
Tried to kill him off rip. How does he not get this? He tried to kill him. It wasn't
it's not a fair contest.
No. I challenge you to a duel, sir.
No, this is trickery. Die.
Rocks in your eyes, teeth on your neck. Every attack he did was an attack on the neck until Simba got up.
He has no chance of winning, especially after all of his lies were exposed and he has no chance of holding the kingdom anymore.
He does have a chance. He controls the hyenas, so he believes.
If he was gonna do this, why didn't he just fight Mufasa for the throne? It makes no sense. But eventually the hyenas take care of him and scurry off. Simba takes his place as king after so many false conflicts and contradictory moral dilemmas, and now everyone in the kingdom is probably going to need buttloads of therapy after everything Scar put them through after he won.
What did Scar put them through? He basically ravaged the land by overfeeding.
They were thirsty for a little bit. They had to go a little further out for their water.
What did he put them through? And how long was the lands like that? So barren. Because it seemed like this was the first in conversation with Simba's mom where it's just like, yo, there's nothing here.
Ain't nothing here.
The hyenas go, yo, there's nothing here now. It's dinner time. There's no dinner. Call her. There's nothing, Scar.
In this movie, he has no heir, so he's not taking the women. What did he put them through?
But Simba made the sun come out, so... yay. Like I said, the film isn't altogether worthless, and I'll admit that even after everything I just said about the piece, I honestly don't hate watching this. It's got some great atmosphere most of the time, the balance between comedy and tragedy is expertly paced, and there are a few nice moments here and there. But at its core, the film is just so backwards, so thin, and just downright stupid most of the time. Just about everything in the film either contradicts or misses the point of what the moral is supposed to be, and that's when what we're watching has any point at all. The characters are underdeveloped, usually awful, and just plain idiotic most of the time. Good on the paper of aesthetics, but quite bad in the practice of actually writing a film.
Unbelievable.
So with all of that said, again, I hope I was able to better articulate why I feel this is the case. And even if I wasn't, I hope you found this revisiting to be at least somewhat interesting. I mean, hey, we'll always have Timon dressing and dragon doing the hula. Am I right? Am I right?
Boy, he is not.
Is that right? It's not right, is it? Oh, well, I tried. The end. Seriously this time.
James Earl Jones. What a difficult impression indeed. I can't seem to decide if he has any sort of accent.
He deserves some.
Oh yeah,
I seem to be doing some sort of pseudo-English. I suppose all you need to do is be extra articulate, extra dark, and extra low.
Would help if I had a low voice, but I really don't.
Oh man, that came from. Wow, you got real low.
Yeah, that was great. I'm gonna go back for the last few seconds of that.
Extra low. I suppose all you need to do is be extra articulate, extra dark, and extra low.
Would help if I had a low voice, but I really don't.
Goodness gracious.
That was great.
It's a very good Mufasa.
Hey, if he's still doing stuff on like Fiverr or whatever, hey, Interstellar Planetary Commits bull.
Go on over there. You need the help. Them muffs ain't cutting it.
I'm looking for Hope Griffin.
Man, Brown Table put himself in and Muff can't act either.
Who is he?
He was, in the beginning where it was just like, all of you students are here because, and they were lined up and everything. That was him.
Well, I understand. It's because Monty Ohm did the same thing. But he played a character that didn't really
pretty
talk.
Emotionless, so you've got that blanket of I'm doing a good job and my not really doing a good job.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this is a Hall of Fame, by the way.
Yeah, that's an easy. I want to go 11.
Whoa, really? I mean, I only got one rating past Hall of Fame, and that's GOAT, and there's only one GOAT.
Yeah, I'm putting it in 11.
Whoa! Whoa! This is one of the most disingenuous videos we've ever reviewed.
And I'm scared of that first one. I kind of don't even want to do it.
I'm definitely not.
I'm
not ever watching
All
it.
right.
Unless it's for Revisited specifically, I will never consume that. I mean, a second past what we listen to.
Needed.
But done.
And he's got a bunch of other reviews like the Man of Steel and stuff, but I can't trust him if he's misconstruing things this bad.
Yeah. Like, am I gonna have to watch Man of Steel and defend it versus this horrible analysis? Because make no mistake, this was horrible analysis.
Absolutely. I don't know. 7 years.
Yeah, you had 7 years to fix everything up and understand the film better.
7 years of experience in video making,
script writing, analyzing media.
And this
is what we get.
Man.
This is a really bad video, y'all.
Really bad.
Don't know what we're doing even Saturday yet. We need to discuss that.
Don't. We do.
Don't know what we're doing next Revisited. Don't know what we're ever doing for anything. We are not good content creators. Don't know if we're streaming Sunday, playing some video games. I think Mike is playing either tonight or Friday, but this is probably not even going to be up until Friday, so you guys will not hear this. He's playing some AI Somnium. He's probably going to do some Smash stuff next Wednesday. He does it every Wednesday. Beyond that, I have no idea what we're doing.
We never know.
All right. Wow, yawning at 6:30.
Yeah, I'm horrible.
You fit right in with this content creator. Confused Mathew was the most confused.
Yeah, that's
disingenuous
Mathew. They all should have just known Scar was evil. Okay.
Simba's here. I guess Scar just lied about everything.
Every single thing he ever said was a lie.
It's so obvious he's planning to kill Mufasa and Simba. Okay, thanks.
Pardon?
Hakuna Matata, it runs antithetical to the theme of responsibility. Yes.
Yeah, huh? Yep. Yeah, it does.